You can't have any fun because YouTube says no music.
Oh, yeah. Darn it.
You can't even do a parody. What is Weird Al to do in these trying times? He's just done. He's kaput.
Well, he can always fall back on his cooking career.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I hear he makes a killer meatball pizza.
I thought you were going to talk about his line of shoes.
Oh. Yeah, that too. I totally forgot about that.
I don't know if he actually does cook or has a line of shoes. Who's to say?
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised. He seems like a very talented individual.
If I had Weird Al money, I'd be ordering out a lot. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, me too. But hey, sooner or later, I'll get an additional $600 to use in all the takeout I want.
Yeah, one order of takeout. Thanks, government. Now I can get some extra egg rolls. Ooh.
Yeah, after the inflation kicks in, I can fill up my car's gas tank once.
It's good to know that in another, 18 months or 9 months, we'll get $300 then. Great. That's not even enough to buy a PS5, man. Technically, this stimulus check isn't even enough to buy a PS5 because the second market.
Yeah, exactly. Like a legitimate one, yes, but let's see if you can actually find one being sold at retail.
Oh gosh.
Nice.
When will it end? When will it end, guys?
Only 8 more days. No, I'm sorry, 9 more days. Then it's over.
Hopefully, all the listeners already have their consoles secured, or were good little boys or girls or whatever they identify as, and Santa will leave you a nice gift. I'm getting full. I wasn't a good guy.
You know what's worse? As an adult, what if Santa brought you bills? Just like oh god, not another gas bill.
Yeah, here's my gas bill for your part of Pennsylvania. You know, he maps it out. He's like, yeah, you have to pay for this much.
Oh man. Then luckily all those kids who live in Alaska, their bills are pretty minimal. So it's like, yeah, you guys are good. We're using your land's natural resources anyway. So we're not gonna bill you guys.
The only thing they gotta worry about in Alaska is shooting the wrong reindeer. Oh, I'm sorry, Santa. I thought that was a wild one. I didn't see the bells. Darn. What's that? Yeah. Blitzen 16? Oof.
Comet the 4th. No.
I thought he was flying. He's a unique type of reindeer. I wanted to be the first one to catch him. Maybe if I ate his meat, I'd get his powers.
Yeah, that's how it works.
That's how I assume people in Alaska think. Guys, I kid. If you're listening from Alaska, we're all equally as stupid.
Come here, Blitzen. I won't hurt you. Now I can fly.
I mean, even if I can't fly, I'd get those cool. If I get those cool antlers, that's enough. Attract all the mates. Heyo.
Yeah, antler powers. Hey, Megan, what you doing tonight? Corey, don't talk to me. Oh, yeah? And you just grow antlers, and she's like, oh, Corey, come over here. Come here, big boy. And you're like, yes, the antlers worked.
Now I can't wear hats anymore. Darn. I love me a good beanie.
Oh, that's funny.
But yes, I guess that this is Level With Me Podcast's Christmas episode.
Oh, yes.
I don't have anything planned. That's all I got.
You have nothing planned at all.
I got nothing. I don't know, guys. I got some cookies. I'll mail each of our listeners a cookie. Just send me your email address or send me your address at our email address, and I'll send you whatever I got left. A few sprinkles and chocolate chips. I don't know.
I guess it's up to me to bring some Christmas cheer. So, 1 second.
Oh, guys, he's getting it. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes, my favorite Christmas movie's intro song. I'm not sure if you can guess what it is.
Is it Elf?
No. That is for Christmas. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
A classic.
Yes. I would say Elf is a classic too, but it seems like every year I just get less and less of an urge to want to watch the movie Elf.
I agree. Yeah, it's really draining.
Yeah.
It is a good movie, but yeah, like the longer it exists, I don't know. Like for some reason, I just don't like ever have the need to watch it. I don't know why.
Yeah. I think it's because it's played so often, and not even just like on TV, but like in like my household, because like Amanda likes it too, my family likes it. It's almost getting like the exact same effect of like the Christmas Story, like 24 hours of a Christmas Story. It's like I was perfectly happy watching the movie once a year, but like 24 hours on Christmas, it was just played way too much. And not even on Christmas. People just have it on all the time, and I'm like, this movie is really not that good. Like eventually, it just sunk in. It just sunk in where I'm like, yeah, I really don't want to watch this movie anymore.
And to strengthen your point, I agree. Where like the commercialization of that movie is also identical to A Christmas Story, where you just go in any store nowadays, and there's so much Elf merch. It's wild.
Yeah.
And I forget if I might have mentioned this last week on the podcast, but I saw like a cutout of like Buddy the Elf, and it was just like it was like an inflatable decoration, but it's so odd. It was like the least amount of effort put into a decoration. It was just like a cutout of Will Ferrell as Elf or Buddy the Elf, but it's just a blowout like 2D. I didn't get it. I'm like, that's the worst blow up inflatable decoration I've ever seen.
I was gonna say, was it like all pixelated and everything?
No. Well, I guess if you got really close to it, but
yeah.
It's on someone's lawn. I didn't want to trespass.
Hey, you don't even Buddy the Elf, but I just want to see how pixelated he was.
I just wanted to give him a kiss.
I want to give him a hug. He loves hugs.
That's true.
I learned that from the movie. But yeah, again, good movie. But I like once a year is enough for me to watch the movie Elf. But I don't know, man. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I can watch that like constantly, and to me, that never drains. Now, granted, I don't watch it like 5 times a day, but like I'll watch it like once a week during Christmas time, and it never gets old.
It's called Slapstick. It's a classic.
It's just too fun. Like I can quote that movie like just forever. It never gets old. It's always funny.
That's how I feel about one of my favorites, Jingle All the Way.
I love Jingle All the Way too. It's like the best bad Christmas movie ever.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, like I just think Schwarzenegger as like a comedy guy it's so ridiculous, but it just works. And Sinbad's pretty funny in that movie too. Like I don't know, yeah, that's up there as like one of like my favorite Christmas movies, just because it's so weird.
So I recently rewatched that movie, and it's kind of interesting because I finally feel like I reached a level of insight where I'm like watching Arnold Schwarzenegger's character go try to get this Turbo Man toy that is impossible to find, and I'm thinking like, oh my god, like Arnold Schwarzenegger's character is actually like the biggest piece of shit. Like he doesn't go to like any of his sons like karate lessons or like any sort of like his, he's just not being a parent. He's like working so much, and literally he forgot to get like this toy, and he's just out there like trying to get it like all of like Christmas Eve. I mean, that movie's also weird where there's like this huge stretch of the movie where he's out hunting for this toy, and you kind of don't really even think about how much time that's actually taking. Like he leaves in the morning of Christmas Eve, and then they like meet sometime in the middle of the day. It's like, wouldn't he have been out looking for hours and hours and hours, especially he's driving all around? Like there's not that many toy stores. I digress though. I just think all the people who are trying to get the Turbo Man on the last day are all like horrible people. Like it's just like, oh my god, there's no way. And it's like a horrible example of like commercialism, like gone the worst, where like they're all at the one point when they're in like the Mall of America toy store where they're like, we're going to do a raffle. We have a limited supply. Take these balls. And then it's like a dog pile for everyone to get these bouncy balls that go all over the place. And they even like tackle Sinbad's character. It's just a nutty movie. It is crazy wild.
Yeah. He got two. Get the mailman. Like it's, but it's funny to that point that you make. You're right. Now that I think about it, he is like basically not a very good father figure because he's a workaholic. All he really cares about is work. And technically, even like as far as like a husband goes, he's not the best husband either. But you sympathize with him because he is trying to make an effort to win his son's love by buying him the best Christmas toy. But then now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, yeah, but he's still a piece of crap because he forgot all about it. And spoiler warning, you learn at the end of the movie. He totally forgets about his wife's Christmas gifts too.
Right.
Like so it's like, what did you do for the last month of Christmas, dude? Oh my god.
You're my number one customer.
Yeah. And do not forget, you're my number one customer. Liz, hi honey. Oh no, don't want to worry. You're my number one customer. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's like, that's it in a nutshell, where he just like immediately just goes right back to work mode while talking to his wife.
Also, in the world of 2020, it still always cracks me up when Sinbad's character, he's like a mailman, always makes the joke about people delivering bombs. And also spoiler warning, there is a joke with a bomb. It doesn't kill anyone, but it's like a very cartoon. The bomb goes off and this guy has like ash all over his face, like it's black. Yeah. And his like mustache is a little burnt, but it's just like, wow, I feel like you can't make that joke nowadays. That is bad.
No, probably not.
Like people have died from bombs sent in the mail. Like that is a kind of risque joke, but I admire that. I like dark humor, but
well, that's because you and I are normal, Corey. Like we can appreciate it. Yeah, like
fair.
Like we're not gonna be like, oh, like I'm upset because this could happen to me. It's like it's a joke. Just like get over it. But yeah, I can see in 2020 like nowadays in 2020 people just view everything through. This is a bit of a tangent, but like it's funny because I got into a conversation about this with my brother, how right now in 2020 everybody views everything through a prism of like being offended. So people find offense in everything, including Sinbad bomb jokes.
You're right, and I don't know what they're looking for. They're just entitled or whatever. But I don't really like it. I like to do it jokingly. Like I always, whenever I watch a movie that was made obviously in like the 80s or 70s, I understand when the movie was made. I understand the humor at those times. But I'm not going to not point out the jokes that are like, whoa, you couldn't get away with that joke. Like, I like to mock that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah, I do, too. Just because it's kind of like me mocking the fact that, like in today's day and age, if you said that, it's like, well, then they'd be fired or something like that, God, what was I watching? I'm trying to think. It was one movie or TV show, and, like, someone made a comment, and I'm just like, wait, did they just say that? And it was like a modern movie or TV show. And again, I don't care, but it's like I couldn't help but point out, like, of all the things that are getting canceled on TV and media, this is allowed on TV. Like it was just a little weird thing that I noticed. Like, why is this not being like talked about on the news? Or well, I think it was about I was getting into a conversation to someone about that song "Baby It's Cold Outside." That's kind of I think that's what sparked the conversation. And like I think I was talking to Amanda, and something came on TV, and I'm like, wait, what did they just say? Like, but I don't know. It's kind of just weird, like what people can get away with, and then other people just get so like upset with like the simplest things. Like, I don't know.
It's funny you just mentioned that song "Baby It's Cold Outside" because recently, like a few weeks ago, when me and Megan were out like shopping, we went in like multiple different stores, and every store that song just came on, and we're like, what the heck? It's like following us. I mean, granted, every store is playing Christmas songs, but it's just like, what are the odds? Like, we weren't in these stores for very long, like 10, 15 minutes, but every time it's like, are they playing the same album at the same time? Like, all right, guys, everyone start your Christmas CD or playlist or whatever.
No, every store has that playlist, and every single one of them is just 5 minutes offset. So that way, by the time you get to the next store, it starts playing that song again.
Okay, gotcha.
It's all formulated that way.
Say, what's in this drink? It's drugs.
Baby, it's cold outside.
It's drugs. Run.
Imagine. I was going to say, like, apparently there actually is a new version of the song that's trying to be created, and I'm not going to lie.
I heard about that.
Like, well, I think there have been other like versions throughout history, like a few tweaks in the lyrics, but apparently, just recently, I heard that there's like this group who are just again. I'm sorry for some of the listeners who feel differently, but I'm just saying, I'm just speaking my mind. That I think people are getting a little bit too crazy with being like offended by this song, because I think they're taking it way out of context. Anyway, recently there was people complaining about it, and they said that there is this group that is redoing the song, and when I was listening to some of the lyrics, it is just like it's beyond corny. Like I don't remember all the lyrics, but I think at one point it was like you know the part of the song where it's like, you know, like I should say no 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 or something like that. Like I think the boy, the male singer chimes in and says like, you have the right to say no or something like that. Where I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. It's like cringy. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Are people really going to sing this? Here, have a glass of seltzer. I don't want to put you under the influence and take advantage of you, or something like that. Like it's
you
like
can
really
leave at any time if you want, but you might get trapped in the snow and die. Just saying.
Oh my god.
Wear a seatbelt when you drive home.
Back to Jingle All the Way.
I really want to watch they made like a sequel or spiritual successor with Larry the Cable Guy, and it came out I think in like 2015, 2016. It was a straight to like purchase video or movie, yeah. And I never seen it. It's like Larry the Cable Guy, and he has like a daughter, and he's trying to get like a doll. That's all I know though. That's like the cover if you search like Jingle All the Way like sequel.
Yeah, here it is. It's Jingle All the Way 2.
Yeah, I've never seen it. I would love to watch it because I would get a kick out of it, but I'm sure I don't know its quality. I won't comment on it.
I'm actually shocked I never heard this before, but that's funny.
Yeah.
I'm reading the synopsis, and of course it says truck driver Larry Phillips. Like, so he literally is playing himself as Larry, and it's like he's a truck. Like, why is he always
a good fart joke in there too?
I bet he has a hat with a fish hook in it.
I bet he bends over and his ass cracks hanging out.
I bet he's got some tobacco, you know.
I bet he wears jeans
and plaid shirts with no sleeves.
You know you're a redneck if
you forgot your daughter's Christmas toy.
I can't believe that was an era in comedy. They were so big off that.
They were big on that.
I can't even fault them. Jeff Foxworthy. I don't actually remember the name of the guy who's Larry the Cable Guy because that's his character. But like,
I could not tell you what his actual name is.
I think they're pretty smart that they just milked that out because they're all very successful right now.
Oh yeah, the blue collar guys were like, they had a good thing going for a while,
right?
And they were all funny. I enjoyed all their jokes.
I agree. Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay. So I don't really have much to talk about before we start the podcast. A few things though. I just wanted to let everyone know that I did get my test results back, and I am COVID negative. I just scared myself, but I'm all good now. So.
But are you COVID negative positive AB? So that way you can be a donor.
Ooh, I don't know about that. Not to mention that I just saw there's articles about the new strain that's starting to form in like Britain and some other country.
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard about that.
I mean to already get us sad in the year 2021, but you know.
Like, here we go again, folks.
When December 31st, 2020 ends, January 1st, 2020 plus begins.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like 2020.1 or
exactly.
0.2 or something. Yeah.
It's all downhill from here. So yeah, that's good. Besides that, I also got all my Christmas shopping done, which is good. I still need to wrap the gifts, even though Christmas is 3 days away. I always wait until the last minute to wrap my gifts. I don't know why. And last but not least, I just wanted to shout out that me and my family and my girlfriend over the weekend went to this place called Christmas Village. This is a very big, like, outdoor activity where it's kind of just like this big like walk through farm type thing with a bunch of different like lights, like Christmas lights all around it and decorated really well. And they have like cutouts that someone hand painted that are like different characters. Some even tell like little stories of like Ichabod Crane, and there's one that's like the Grinch, and it'll be like panels like that kind of tell like the whole story as you walk through. And some of the like little exhibits there are like these little houses that have windows that you look in, and they're all like decorated with Christmas themed like presents and lights and candy. And it's really cool. It's been there for years. It's like in the middle of Pennsylvania. I think you guys want to look it up, but it's really cool. I've been going there for years too. And that was like a nice activity that we could all do. It was outside, and they also, you know, were limiting how many people could go in there due to the pandemic. But we had a great time, and it's just a like family tradition. Always walk through there and check out all the lights. It's just like really beautiful.
Well, that's awesome, man.
Yeah. Other than that, though, I've been doing too much. You know, a lot of video games, a lot of shows I've been watching. We'll get to that later. Just enjoying my time off. My vacation continues now. What about you, Mike? You got anything you want to mention before we get started?
Sure. Yeah, but again, I've been, once again, very busy with work. Even so, yeah, I feel bad. Like I've really been lacking in like both Level With Me and the Collector's Vault like videos. I've just been so busy, I haven't had time to make any of those.
And that reminds me, I don't want to cut you off, but I saw that one of your videos got corrupted.
Not corrupted, but basically, I was finishing up a video, and I didn't save it for a long time. I just kept working on this one video and this is for the Collector's Vault channel. And just my what's it called? Adobe Premiere just froze. Like, you know, I got like the spitting blue circle of death or whatever, and like the not responding in quotation marks or in the parentheses. And I'm like, all right, it's just chill, Mike. I know you didn't save it in a while, just chill. And then like 2 hours later, I came back to my computer. It's still spinning, and I'm like, oh my gosh, the thing froze. And so I had to like press exit and yes, end the program, blah blah blah. And I was hoping it would back it up, and it didn't. So I lost everything. I was really bummed.
Yeah, that's very depressing. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, what are we gonna do? Lesson learned, kids. Save every 5 minutes when working on anything on your computer.
That's definitely true, especially if they're working on like a script or something like that. Like, God, I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, or any like school project or something like that. You don't want to lose all your progress. Or
I'm sure that's happened to me before, but I can't think of any instance. But yeah, that happens to everyone.
Yeah, it was just kind of a bummer because it was actually a really good. I had a really good conversation I want to talk about, or a really good topic. I'm going to try to finish it up today, tomorrow, or Thursday before Christmas.
Cool, man.
And basically, it's about like, just to give you like a quick briefing. It's about like the modern day collectible card market and how things are starting to not depreciate, but there's definitely a dip in like prices and everything. And I'm just telling people like, keep your eyes open for cards right now, and especially now that we know about this second stimulus check, which again is only for the United States, but I think it's definitely going to make an impact on the collectible cardboard again, because there's going to be a lot of people out there who are not going to be needing that money, and they're just going to put it towards luxurious items, TVs,
hobbies,
furniture, or So just keep an eye out for that.
Good.
And then, but also, I had a family Christmas party on Saturday, and that was a lot of fun. Me and Amanda went to my parents' place, and you know, my brothers were there, and my aunts and uncles were there. It was, you know, it was not like it was obviously not as big as last year's party, because like normally we go over my one aunt's house, and it's like, you know, like 30, 40 people at her house. Her house is very big. So this year was at my parents' house, and there was much less people there, you know, because like people weren't really comfortable coming over because of the pandemic and all that stuff. Yeah, but it was still a really good time, and we actually had a great opportunity because both of my brothers were there, and my one brother's girlfriend and Amanda and I we asked them to be in the wedding, in the bridal party. So we were kind of like, we were waiting for a good day to do it when all three of them were together and like when there's like some family around. So the Christmas party was the perfect chance to do it. And so yeah, and they were very happy and they were very touched to be part. That we asked them to be a groomsman and a bridesmaid. Like Amanda did a great job. She got like a nice little box with a bow and it's basically like a little bottle of champagne and a little flute or like a little wine glass or a flute and this nice little like little box for her name's Allie. Like for Allie saying, "Will you be my bridesmaid?" It was very cute, very well done. And for me, I had custom beer labels that would say and beer huggies. So it had like my brother's names on it and groomsmen on the back of it. And the beer labels themselves had like their names on it saying, like, "Hey, will you be my groomsman?"
That's pretty
So
neat.
they were pretty cool. Yeah, it was very fun. And so yeah, that was my weekend. And besides that, just actually watched a really cool show, or I shouldn't say show. Watched a really interesting movie, and finally played a new video game. But we'll get to that part later.
I got a little spoiled by your new video game because I saw you online the other day playing something.
No spoilers. No spoilers, Corey. Whatever he tells you, folks, it's all a lie.
Mike was playing Fortnite.
He
wanted to get the new Black Panther skin. Who could blame him?
I got sick just thinking about that. Then again, I would probably play Fortnite just for the Mandalorian skin. That looks pretty cool.
You know, I was watching a streamer play Fortnite over this last week, and there was some sort of thing in my brain where I'm like, I almost want to go play this again, but then I was just like, I have no idea when I'd have time for this. I already have like 67 games I want to play at this moment, so I think I'm good. I don't need to dip back in there.
Yeah.
I had my period of Fortnite. It's probably pretty much the same. Oh, okay. Anywho, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Love With Me podcast, episode 76. I am one of your hosts, Game Bro Corey, and I'm joined by my other host, Mike, aka the Collector's Vault. How you doing today, Mike?
I'm doing pretty good, Corey. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Level With Me. Last time I checked the calendar, it is holiday season, I guess, to say the very least. Like, a lot of holidays coming up right now. Technically, I think we're in the middle of, forgive me, Kwanzaa, not Kwanzaa, gosh.
Hanukkah, I believe, started in the beginning of December.
I was going to say, doesn't Hanukkah start on Christmas or it ends on Christmas?
I think it ends.
I forget.
I don't know.
I forget the actual. I'm sorry to all of our, Jewish listeners. I'm just very ignorant. I know Hanukkah either begins or ends on Christmas Day or something like that. Actually, no, but I better go look it up before I make a fool of myself.
That's what I was trying to do in the meantime. Oh, no, it does start on Christmas Day. You were right. Starting on the 25th.
Is that true?
Well, actually, I don't know.
No,
I'm just skimming this Wikipedia article.
Oh, really? Because right here it says Hanukkah 2020 began the evening of Thursday, December 10th. And then 8 days later, it ends on Friday, December 18th.
All right, fair enough.
I did not know. All right, so we're both wrong. Everybody, so to all of our Jewish listeners, we hope you had a very happy Hanukkah. I actually don't know when Kwanzaa is. Let's find that. Again, sorry, I'm ignorant. I just want... Kwanzaa is...
Well, you're doing the right thing. We're looking up.
No.
You're not just being like, oh, it was... it's coming up tomorrow. Happy Kwanzaa.
Yeah, I hate being ignorant. Oh, actually, this is interesting. Kwanzaa begins the day after Christmas, and it ends January 1st.
Oh, okay. So that's like a week of celebration.
Yeah. I learned something new. I didn't know Kwanzaa was like that.
I never knew that either.
Yeah, like a weekly celebration like Hanukkah. Huh, I learned something new.
And you should look up. What's the other one? The one that people get the decorations for?
Ramadan?
No. The one that has like the tree and the guy in the red suit. What's that one? What day is that one? How many days is... It's Christmas.
Oh.
How many days is Christmas? No.
Well, yeah, Thanksgiving. The red guy cuts down the tree when he gets me my turkey and everything. It's Thanksgiving.
No, you're thinking of Arbor Day.
Oh.
Cutting down the tree.
I always get this mixed up.
Yeah. Red guy's probably like a lumberjack.
And who gives me all my presents on Arbor Day? Yeah. It's Lumberjack Larry, the cable guy. That's what it is. Yeah.
You know you're a redneck if you give out presents on Arbor Day.
Okay. Yes.
Yes, but
Chris-
no, you're right. Happy holiday season. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Merry Christmas. Whatever you celebrate. I should also point out the most important holiday of the season, my birthday, which is 2 days after Christmas. Just saying.
We don't care about that.
If you guys want to send me a gift, my P.O. box is 62. Just kidding.
Oh, Sinbad was getting ready to write down your address, but I'm going to send Corey another bomb package.
Good. I need something to defend myself when 2020 plus begins. There could just be enemies walking down the street. I don't know. Like, I'm just going to get a pizza or something, and it's just like, boom.
No, not the 2020 plusians. But yes, we do wish everyone, like, regardless of what you celebrate, we just wish you nothing but happiness, healthiness, and safety. And Happy New Year. Whenever that comes around.
Yeah, when is that? Crap. I keep forgetting these dates.
Gosh, I have to Google it. Man, it's just like when someone asked me, when's July 4th? The 4th of July. When that's...
Huh. Isn't that sometime in the fall? Oh, no, wait. I'm thinking of President's Day.
It's funny. You think I'm joking around, but there actually was somebody, I think it was back when I was using Twitter. There was supposed to be like the dumbest people in the world, and someone actually did like tweet like that they couldn't remember when the 4th of July was. As in, like, they just thought of it as like, or I think it was like the only thing worse than that is like, hey, when's 9/11?
I was gonna make. I heard this joke from a movie or TV show. I can't remember it, but yeah, it's the classic. Hey, how do you dial 911?
Yeah, just like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Anywho, since is the season, there's not that much video game news this week. That's all I gotta say.
No.
We got a few things we can talk about, and then you can get back to your cookie eating, your present wrapping, your eggnog drinking, I'm uninformed. I don't really know. I know there's dreidels in Hanukkah, those little tops. They're pretty cool. I don't know what you do in Kwanzaa. Again, I'm just uninformed. I don't know. But I hope you guys are having fun doing whatever you do. Or eating some good food, which I'm sure you are.
Yeah. I think all the holidays do revolve around good food. So that's one thing that we all have in common.
And you know what else the holidays are known for? Good smells, usually.
Oh, yes. From those foods.
Speaking of good smells, UK retailer selling Mario perfume that makes you smell like a plumber? You're a redneck if you buy perfume that makes you smell like... Oh, my gosh.
You smell like a lead pipe and crap.
And chewing tobacco.
Yeah. And
denim. But yes, you heard me. Oh, go ahead. Keep going.
What is... It's funny, because I'm looking at this article right here, and it's a picture of it, and it's called, like...
Eau de plumber.
Yeah, eau de plumber. And I'm like, what does a plumber smell like? And I know we were making jokes about it, but, like, seriously, what does a plumber smell like?
I don't know. Also, I don't know if they have the actual license to a lot of these properties. Like, this Mario-themed perfume looks very like... Does Nintendo know about this? Let me read the article.
Before you do that, I have a feeling that Shiggy's just there smacking his lips like, oh boy, I tasted another lawsuit coming up.
Ooh, my favorite lawsuit.
Yeah, my favorite cease and desist. Oh man.
If you've ever wondered what Mario's Goomba-covered overalls smell like, UK retailer Game says it has an answer.
Oh, Jesus. Now, I have to know now.
So, for those of you uninformed, Game is kind of like their GameStop, essentially. It's just their big game-specific retailer. I think it's funny that it's just called Game. Like, that's so blunt. But anyways.
I've heard of them. Yeah, I've heard of them, yeah. It's like the UK GameStop. It's funny.
Game announced it's getting into the video game-themed perfume business with 2 new unisex scents, Eau de Plumber and FPS, or first-person scent.
Oh, so now I can smell it. So now I can smell like a sniper. Sweet.
I literally picked this article, and when I had to read that, I was just like, that's the dumbest shit I've ever read. Like, first person scent.
Yes, the dumbest thing ever. But now, where can I buy this?
I know. I
in
kind of
the
would
United
like
States?
both of these just to be like, hey, you want to smell like a plumber?
Yeah, or just for the novelty. Would you find it? I just scrolled down. So, Eau de Plumber looks obviously like Mario themed because it has like the Mario hat, and I guess it looks like a banana peel from like Mario Kart, but
Or
maybe
it's his
supposed to be-
mustache, right?
Yeah, but it looks like I guess it is, but it looks like a banana peel from my angle.
I can see it, yeah.
And then I scroll down to the first person scent, and it's literally a grenade.
It's a pink grenade. It just says FPS on the top. It just oh my god.
Where can I buy this? And
The Mario one looks so much better because it looks like
it looks like a Mario product.
yeah, it even looks like something you'd find. It really reminds me of like the Vigors in BioShock Infinite, which are like the spells. They kind of have these really cool like jars like this that you drink and then you get the powers or you inject them. I forget what you do. But yeah, it's like themed really nicely. And then, yeah, FPS is just like a pink grenade. Like, okay. Anywho, though, if you'd like to know what to expect from Eau de Plumber, it will feature deep, earthy notes of toadstool, balanced with high notes of peach and daisy, and mid-tones of grasslands. How many times have you been getting ready to go on a date with your significant other, or maybe your future significant other, and you're just like, boy, I gotta smell my best. What smells good? Toadstool. That's it.
You would think that'd be more towards the Mario scent or Eau de Plumber, but
Mushrooms grow in shit, guys. I don't want to smell like shit.
that's true.
That's all I'm saying. I live near mushroom plants.
I was gonna say when I was living in Reading, I lived near a mushroom farm. It doesn't smell pleasant.
This brand new unisex fragrance is lovingly crafted for the busy gamer on the go. Significant other kidnapped by giant reptilian tyrant? Rushing from one side of town to the other with strict time limit of 300 seconds? Eau de Plumber has you covered and brings a whole new meaning to the words toilet water. Jesus Christ. What are they actually selling? This is a joke.
It's like that, what was that girl on YouTube? I forget her name.
Belle Delphine,
and she sold her bath water.
Yeah, genius.
Yeah, that's exactly what these people are probably just saying, like, well, God, this is brilliant. We'll just sell toilet water and sell it as Mario perfume. It's brilliant.
I really regret not being able to buy the bath water to get her gamer skills or clitoris. I forget which one they got. Anywho.
There's actually a video where someone actually vaped her bath water. It's pretty funny. You should watch it.
I feel like I have seen a few of those videos because I was just like, what idiots actually bought this? Like, I can't believe this is a thing. Oh, man. I wasn't going to say 2020, but I think that happened. The bathwater thing was older. There have been a lot of weird products recently. I think it's all just for the controversy about it. Like, didn't you hear how, is it Gwyneth Paltrow who had like the vagina scented candle, or who?
Wait, what?
Some celebrity made like a I'm gonna just search it, vagina candle.
Yeah,
this is a real thing.
I've never heard of that.
Oh yeah, Gwyneth. But yep, I was right. Yeah, she made a candle, and it literally is scented from her vagina, I guess. In case anyone wanted to know what that smells like.
Yeah, I think if Disney found out, they would have shot that down. Like, yeah, you're not.
The candle is literally called "This Smells Like My Vagina." That's what it says on the candle. As your grandparents come to visit you, they're like, "Oh, what is this lovely scent?"
This must have happened after Endgame, because there's no way they would have allowed her to be in a Marvel movie, or in like Disney would have been like, "Yeah, we don't really want you here if you're going to be selling that kind of crap."
I'm sure you can go in the new Marvel themed park that they're building and buy this candle. Why not?
That's so ridiculous.
Speaking of,
I'm just laughing because no, I'm sorry, I can't believe this. I never heard of this. That's funny.
Speaking of the new products, though, let's continue here and let's talk about FPS, the other scent. FPS, shaped like a grenade, is an obvious ode to the first-person shooter genre. Game describes it as best appreciated from 30 feet away and slightly gunpowdery, and is a celebration of the nation's love of the popular FPS games. Oh, okay. They'll both cost 1999 euros. I don't know what that translates.
Pounds. I think it's pounds.
Oh yeah, you're right. Pounds. Excuse me.
So it's probably roughly like $25 US dollars.
Yeah, that's just humor right there.
I actually wouldn't mind buying it just for the bottle alone.
Yeah, I actually think the Mario bottle looks kind of cool.
Yeah.
Plus, hey, it'd be funny because then everyone would be like, "Well, what does that actually smell like?" At the end of the day, it's probably just going to be like a very generic like perfume or cologne. You know, you probably smelled it in some department store.
I think it's funny because of all the way they describe it, that it just smells like lavender. It's like, oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah, I don't really have a good transition, but we're gonna move on from that. Sorry, I know a lot of people like their perfume chat, but gotta cut it. Gotta keep rolling here. That's how the program works.
Good transition. You know who buys those kind of products? Simps buy them.
Oh, can't say that. Not on Twitch, at least. No, we're on our own platform. I don't stream this live on Twitch. We're fine. We're fine.
Oh, Twitch is gonna ban me now.
Twitch bans use of simp, incel, and virgin as part of new harassment crackdown. Last week, Twitch announced changes to its hateful conduct and harassment policy, including disallowing the use of terms such as simp, incel, and virgin when used in a derogatory fashion. The new policy will start on January 22nd and is effectively an update to Twitch's evolving hateful conduct guidelines. To that end, Twitch says it will look at the content of statements or actions in order to determine whether a behavior is abusive and violates our guidelines, rather than relying solely on perceived intent, suggesting the company hopes to shut down bad actors who feign ignorance of unclear guidelines. Using terms like simp, incel, and virgin as an insult to negatively refer to another person's sexual activity is not allowed under the new policy. Twitch COO Sarah Clemens said during a Twitch town hall stream. In addition to the policy change, we're also proactively denying emotes that include the term simp, and we remove them when reported, and we'll keep doing that once the policy changes. I just think this is a whole lot of work for nothing. Is this really that big of a deal? Also, not a big fan of when people just like straight out be like, "Oh, you can't use these words." It's like, come on now.
I mean, I'm all for like trying to crack down on like harassment to an extent, but it's the internet, you know, like it's gonna be impossible to like perfectly like stop all the harassment.
There's new words being made every day.
Yeah. To be fair, I think the word simp is like only like a few months old.
It is.
So, like, yeah. So they'll make another word, like I don't know, like flamp. Flamp will be the next word next month. You'll see it.
And it's just like ruins a lot. I don't know, like.
Well, it's a slippery slope because again, although I'm okay with them trying to crack down on harassment, because obviously you don't want people coming into like your streaming and then just like saying things to you, you know, like obviously if you can stop or ban people because of words they're saying, okay. But the problem is that like I said, it's a slippery slope because then what else are they going to start banning? Are you not going to be able to use like words like? Can you not curse eventually? Like, oh, you can't say the word damn? You know, like that's where it might lead to.
That's you hit the nail on the head. That's kind of what I'm looking at here too. And like I said, like it kind of just like, you know, like I just don't see how people couldn't like already find ways to like ban these words on their Twitch chat or, you know, whatever. I don't know.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's bots that can like help. Like, listen, that way if people are like you know, chatting and texting in the group chat, I'm pretty sure there's bots that can detect those words and then you know, ban people. So I don't know.
I think maybe it shouldn't even be just a flat out ban with like a hammer or whatever. It should be a case-to-case basis where it should be more like, oh, well, let's look into this first before we just say, have a broad statement that's like, oh, we're just banning, the use of these words. But like you said, it is like a slippery slope because I guess it just depends on, the reason behind why you use those words.
Yeah. I mean, God forbid I get into a chat with somebody on Twitch and they happen to be a Simpsons fan and I keep mentioning the word Simpson. Am I going to be banned for that now?
True.
The nerve.
Anywho, let's actually talk about some video game news in terms of video games themselves. Who cares about stupid perfumes and simps and virgins? No one here is one of those. We're cool people.
Yeah. We're cool.
All right.
Man, I just read this article and I'm actually kind of surprised by this.
Yeah, this is actually kind of nutty. Might be the biggest story of the week. Sony removes Cyberpunk 2077 from PlayStation Store. Will offer refunds to PlayStation players who already bought it. So there's a few updates to this story. Let me get to the original story first. Sony Interactive has confirmed it will give players of Cyberpunk 2077 on PS4 or on PS5 via backwards compatibility refunds for purchasing the game, but the platform holder is taking things a step further and actually removing Cyberpunk 2077 from the PlayStation Store for digital purchase until further notice. In a newly posted refund-related page, Sony SIE, I forget what it is, confirmed its intentions to offer full refunds to all players who purchase Cyberpunk via the PlayStation Store, while also committing to delisting the game for the time being. There's a full statement here. Let me also check these updates real quick to make sure nothing changed, because that's pretty much all I heard. I didn't know if anything else happened with this. So this is the first update. The board of CD Projekt Red has commented on Sony's decision to yank Cyberpunk 2077 from the PlayStation Store, noting the decision was undertaken following our discussion with Sony Interactive Entertainment regarding a full refund for all gamers who had purchased Cyberpunk 2077 via PlayStation Store and want a refund at this time. All copies of the game previously purchased digitally on the PlayStation Store remain available for use by their respective buyers, confirmed CD Projekt Red in its statement. Gamers can still buy physical versions of the game in retail and mail order stores. CD Projekt Red also assessed that all digital and physical copies of Cyberpunk 2077 will continue to receive support and updates. And then as a second update, CD Projekt Red has vowed to bring Cyberpunk 2077 back to the PlayStation Store as soon as possible in a statement to players. On Twitter, the company released a new public-facing statement reiterating that the PlayStation version, both physical and digital, will continue to receive updates even while not available for digital sale. No timeline was given for when the game may return to the store. This statement also perhaps implies that the decision to remove the game was made by both Sony and CD Projekt Red. That's potentially to allow for refunds to be granted without breaching Sony's existing policies, which had caused trouble for many seeking to return their digital copies this week. IGN contacted Sony and CD Projekt Red for clarification, but both refused to comment. Xbox has not responded to any request for comment on its own course of action with regard to the game. So that was a mouthful, but yes, this is a crazy thing because there aren't that many games that actually get pulled off the PlayStation Store. I mean, there were games like, there have been many games over these past few years that'll come out and seem like very underbaked or in some terms raw. Like it's a very, very, very early build of a game. I'm looking at you, No Man's Sky or Fallout 76. But those games never got pulled off the store because they didn't run that well or they didn't look that good. Cyberpunk, being this huge game that everyone was super excited for, is a game that's been pulled from the store just because of, I guess, crashes or just not being in compliance to whatever Sony standards are. It could just be from the fan outcry. Who's to say? Yeah. But that's wild.
Even the full refund's kind of shocking too.
I do give CD Projekt Red credit for that because they did. I think we read an article a week or two ago where they did want to allow players to do that. So it is cool that they did contact Sony and are allowing full refunds because, like you were gonna say, I assume that's also very rare.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen like companies like Bethesda and stuff never offer refunds. Like for just I'm shocked. But it's funny because over the last week, I've heard of people playing the game, and or I should say, the last 2 weeks, people playing the game, and I've heard the criticism and everything. But then only recently did I actually watch some people on like YouTube specifically like play the game. I know you were playing. I think were you playing a little bit of it too on Twitch?
I didn't stream it, but I've been playing it offline a little bit.
Oh no, I think that was the Zelda game, Hyrule Warriors. I'm sorry, but anyway, like I was watching people playing online, and I realized like, wow, this game actually is really buggy. I mean, maybe these people were specifically looking for the bugs, but like I saw people like where the game would just crash and then go back to like the PS4 or the PS5 screen and like say, yeah, the game doesn't work, please restart, and oh, you can send like a report to CD Projekt Red, whatever, like kind of like when computers crash and they say, oh, here, we'll send the report to Windows and we'll to fix it or whatever.
Right.
Like I admit, like that's just not fun when games crash. Like it's one thing for the games to be buggy because that can be kind of funny, but when your game like straight up just stops working and turns off, that's never fun. Because then God knows how much progress you lost. God knows like what else you possibly lost. It's that's where it really is just not fun.
It makes you paranoid to even want to play the game because you're like, well, is all my progress just going to get lost in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah, or like what's the point of me playing it if it's just going to turn off again?
Exactly.
So,
and I've talked about like how it's definitely not a great version on the PS4 or the Xbox One. You definitely should be playing that game on the current gen consoles or like a good PC if you want to run it like very like properly, I would say. It's a little janky on the PS4. So yeah, I understand why people would want a refund. And I do think it's cool that CD Projekt Red has been open about this and is allowing players who want refunds to do that. I did see some articles, though, how they did sell like 13 million copies or something wild. So they are doing very well with this game. I think they're going to continue to update it and eventually put in like DLC and stuff like that. Because it is a very good game. It just needs to be toned and patched. And once it gets there, I think more people will begin to appreciate it. I think a lot of the negativity is just because of a lot of the hype that the game was building up.
Yeah. And I think maybe they were under a lot of pressure to get it released before the holidays.
Definitely.
And I think maybe even just the fan base themselves is saying, guys, like release this game. And it's like, all right, fine, we'll release it. I mean, it's like a meme at this point where it's like the fans say, release the game, do it now. All right, fine, we'll release it. And then the fans cry, oh my gosh, why is the game so buggy? It's good because you made us release it now. You should, and I know I said before, but like you have to delay the game and not release it until it's ready. Personally, for me, I don't care what the stockholders say. I don't care what the fan base say. You as the game developer know when your game is ready, what it's capable of doing.
Right.
Whether it's going to, like, you have to just say, like, guys, I'm not going to sell you an inferior
guys,
product,
it needs 3 more months. Just be patient.
Yeah. Again, as
and this happens with a lot of games, yeah.
Yeah, as Satoru Iwata have always said, I don't remember the exact quote, but it's very it sums it all up.
I think it was Shigeru Miyamoto who said it.
Like a delayed game, what was it? Like a delayed game can be good, but a bad game is bad forever. Or I forget what the hell it was.
The quote is, "A delayed game is eventually good, but a rushed game is forever bad." That's Shigeru Miyamoto.
Wise words, Shiggy.
We're going to talk about him later, too.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, our good friend.
Well, your best friend, I only heard of him.
Yeah, he was sending me a bunch of, like, videos from Nintendo World. He's like, oh, Corey, you're going to love this. Wait till you see how I hit the block and it makes a little coin noise. I'm like, oh, that's great.
You're so lucky.
But before we move on, though, I do want to say that, first of all, I do feel incredibly bad for the Cyberpunk team because they've clearly been overworked these past few months, And I'm sure they've had a tough time, even with like the pandemic. Like, who knows how that's affected their workload. I also want to give them a shout out and say that these patches that they are putting out are actually really improving the game. I've seen some notable improvements from the 2 patches they put out on my PS4 version of Cyberpunk. It is getting better. Definitely not what they showed, because you really can't believe a lot of trailers you see nowadays, but it is like more stable and less buggy. So they are doing a good job. All right. You ready to move on, Mike?
Oh, yes, I'm ready.
So, like I said, short news week. We here at Level With Me love Nintendo so much, so we keep all the good Nintendo news to the end of the podcast. Well, the end of the news segment. We're not going to like hold these articles until the last like 10 minutes of the actual podcast or whatever. But we're going to talk about them now. What's a good transition from here? So Cyberpunk, God, I'm so off on these. Yeah. Keep going.
Cyberpunk is a really hyped up game, but do you know what else is really hyped up? Final Fantasy VII characters.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Fire Emblem characters.
But that too, but we have plenty of those.
I thought we need 6 more sword characters.
6 more sword characters with all the exact same movesets.
Blue hair, counter down B.
Amazing reach with their swords. Yeah, the counter down B. Yeah, oh my god. Oh, god
it's a meme. There's always a counter. They just can't think of new moves. Oh man, granted Sephiroth's down B is a little bit different, but it's always a counter, guys. Okay. What am I talking about? Well, last week, I believe it was Thursday, Masahiro Sakurai was back in the studio with his team, and he did a full reveal of the new DLC character to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Sephiroth. And he announced the release date. They showed off the new Mii costumes, cries, and, all that typical stuff. Like, they showed the whole, like, what Sephiroth's characters, what his moveset is. They showed off his stage. They actually gave us a bunch of new Final Fantasy music. Thank you, Square.
Yeah, it's funny. I kind of like peeked down the article. I'm like, wow, there's like 8 new tracks here, which is really generous. Or 9 new tracks.
Yeah, it's great. Also, a very minor thing they did, which I think is really cool, but they're making it like really easy if you want to make like a playlist in Smash Ultimate that just has like all the songs you like. And whenever you go to a stage now, or maybe it's just like Battlefield and Final Destination, but you can have it just play any song you want. And you can even just set it now to be like a random song from one of your playlists to play on Battlefield or Final Destination, which I think is really cool. It's a minor detail. I don't even use it. I should make a playlist of all the songs I like, but there's like 20 million songs in Smash Ultimate, so sometimes I don't have time to do that. Regardless of that, though, like I said, they revealed Sephiroth. He's going to come out. I think he's coming out later tonight is the official release date. But one of the cool things about this direct, and this is the first time they did this, is because Sephiroth is usually this like guest boss character in a lot of different games. They actually updated Super Smash Bros. Ultimate last Thursday, and there was a Sephiroth boss challenge, and this was only available for people who had the Fighters Pass 2 purchased already. But you could actually go challenge Sephiroth to a fight, and if you beat him on any of the difficulties, you just unlock him right away on the stage, which I thought was really, really cool. And needless to say, I did it, baby. I beat him on very hard. It was a little tricky, but I did it. I unlocked him. It was fun. I really enjoyed this. I hope they maybe do this in the future, just to give like fans like a little early access kind of thing. I'll talk more about Sephiroth later. I've been playing a decent amount of him. I think we definitely need to address the elephant in the room, which is the Mii fighter costumes. So, of course, there's always like one really cool big one that comes at the end. So we'll save that for the end. Let's start with the first few. A lot of Final Fantasy love, especially Final Fantasy VII. There's a Tifa, Aerith, and Barret costume, all respective, all like Mii Brawler and Mii Fighter. They added a Chocobo hat, which I think is just for any of the Miis. You can customize them. And last but not least, the big new cool Mii costume that almost makes the character look like an actual fighter that wasn't included. Do you want to say it, Mike?
I can't say it. I'm gonna cry. Oh.
Unfortunately, they just put back the Mii Geno costume from Smash 4 into this game. They didn't even make a custom head for him. That people were mocking up a 3D render of a Geno head on the Mii fighter, and it's yeah, that would have looked better. I don't understand why they just gave us. It's literally the one from Smash 4. They didn't even change it. And it's so disappointing. I'm going to put on my tinfoil hat here, but that they definitely were trying to make this happen, and it just didn't. Because they were holding for a while this Mii costume. Because, I think we talked about this on one of the Let's Plays or something a few days ago, but there was a bunch of Mii costumes in Smash 4 that didn't return, and a lot of them became fighters. I'm looking at you, Chrom, and Inkling. Those were two, for example. And yeah, the Geno costume was absent, so everyone's hope maybe he'll be a fighter now. But Sakurai, just like in the trailer when Sepiroth stabbed through Mario, but you revealed it was his clothes, Sepiroth stabbed through Geno and actually just killed him.
Yeah, that's like them saying it's not going to happen.
It's gone. It's done.
Here's the funny thing. I'm sorry to interrupt. So I'm looking through this this article, and it says that Sakurai announced Geno is actually from Super Mario RPG, which was developed by Square in partnership with Nintendo for the Super NES back in '96. Geno was a unique character created for the Super Mario RPG and has been a popular request from fans to be added to the Smash Bros. Roster. Okay? Then it says he was actually previously released as a Mii skin fighter, or skin on the 3DS and the Wii U Smash Bros. Sakurai once said he considered Geno to join the Smash Bros. Roster. So does that mean it's Sakurai who's saying no? By reading this, I'm thinking
so
I was thinking it was Square who's no, we're not giving you Geno. But this seems is Sakurai the one who's saying no?
So actually, I don't think so, because I believe at the beginning of Fighter Pass 2, Sakurai did say that Nintendo personally picked the characters. So I'm gonna say that might be the issue there, because all the DLC characters are picked. We just obviously don't know them, but that's why. And I think I talked about this last week whenever they announced Sephiroth, where I was a lot of these characters are unfortunately you look at them with marketing deals, and it's ARMS recently came out. I guess you could even just say with Switch. That's kind of what that was about. Then what was the other character? Steve from Minecraft. Of course, there are going to be other Minecraft games on the Switch, as well as just more Microsoft involvement. And Sephiroth with Final Fantasy VII Remake kind of being a big thing now. I feel that is kind of an inherent way to promote that. So I don't want to just say this is some sort of marketing scheme DLC character wish list or picked list, but it kind of looks that way. And I even could have more credit to that theory looking at the previous fighter roster with characters like Joker from Persona 5 or the hero from Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest 11. Those were brand new games. Even Byleth, even though that's a Nintendo one, but that game literally came out and got a character in Smash the same year. That's wild.
Interesting.
I don't know. I mean, personally, I wanted to see Geno as a character. I think I talked about how I didn't think it was going to happen, though. And
yeah, I know. I mean, again, I'm not. It's not I'm going to lose sleep over it. I think it's more just why not? At this point, I know marketing wise, he's only had one game, blah blah blah, but just why not? That's all I'm saying. Just he's so requested, just why not do it? And maybe it's the Waluigi thing where it's just not going to happen, and now it's maybe the guys at Nintendo are really getting off on saying, yeah, we're never going to let him have Waluigi and Geno. It's just their thing now.
As dumb as that is, though, they will always be those unobtainable characters, though. Like, those characters could actually fuel whatever the next Smash is. Like, people would be like, oh, Ultimate with its, like, 1,006 characters is great and all, but what if they make a new one and add Waluigi and Geno? Like, people are still going to hold on to those threads.
Yeah.
So it's kind of smart. Like, they actually one day might add Geno and Waluigi as playable characters. Who knows?
Yeah, I guess because I was worried that Sakurai would never make another Smash game, because this game almost killed him. You know, like
he says that all the time.
Yeah, but it actually happens. He's on IVs, I think, when he goes to work, because he's like so like just sick.
I actually really don't know what they're gonna do from this Smash game. Like, this is literally the ultimate game. Like, yeah. I don't really know where they go from here, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, because now it's like, well, then if they make a Smash 6, Smash 6, they would have to just do the exact same thing. Say, fine, every character's back, and we'll add more characters. Like, it's just going to be... Because, like, now you can't go back the other way and say, fine, we'll take characters away.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that now.
Although it could be interesting. Like, I did theory craft, like, what would be the next Smash, and I thought it would be kind of neat is if they actually did do that and, like, made the roster, like, very limited, but make the characters way more in-depth, like maybe a more proper fighting game. I'm not saying you have to do like complicated inputs to use all their attacks, but I'm just saying maybe they make them all like more involved. Like, all characters have like their own gimmick now, besides like, you know, like Cloud has his limit and Joker has his like persona thing. Well, what if every character just had their own like extra little thing? I don't know. Yeah, it's just an idea, but who knows? Whatever the next Smash is like so far off. Like, they are fine. There could even be a Fighter Pass 3 for all we know, because they realize how much money they make.
True.
Anyways, though, let's not get our hopes up too much. Anyways, rest in peace, Geno. I'm not here to poo-poo on anyone hopes and dreams who wanted him. I do want to say that reminded me. I saw this really funny thing on Twitter where it was like two like Smash Pro players. And I think it was called, like, the duality of men, where the one guy saw the Geno me costume and was, like, so sad. He's like, no! And he's, like, started pretending to cry. And then another guy saw the Smash Geno thing, and he just started, like, laughing, like, cackling. Like, and it was funny.
That was kind of funny. The duality of men.
All right. Hey, we got more Nintendo news. Speaking of my boy, Shiggy. Super Nintendo World Tour hosted by Miyamoto. New details on attractions and merch. Not really video game related, or not really video games, I guess, but video game related.
Oh, absolutely.
Nintendo Shigeru Miyamoto hosted a very special Nintendo Direct where he tours the newly finished Super Nintendo World theme park at Universal Studios Japan. Miyamoto went around the park to highlight the biggest attractions, including the Mario Kart ride. Super Nintendo World is a theme park based on, you guessed it, Nintendo. In collaboration with Universal Studios, the first park is set to open in Japan, with versions of Super Nintendo World set to come to North America parks afterward. Aside from the entire structures built to resemble levels and areas from the Super Mario World, the park utilizes a wristband that attendees can wear and use to interact with various attractions around the park. A QR code can also be scanned and connect to your smartphone to a special Super Nintendo World app. For example, wearing the wristband, attendees can punch a power block and earn a digital coin that will be saved to your smartphone. Miyamoto says there are several secrets hidden around the park that will utilize the wristband, and that the coins may unlock some kind of reward as well. The wristbands also function like amiibo and will apparently be usable with your Nintendo Switch after you take them home.
Oh, neat.
Along with the coins, other items like keys can also be stored in the smartphone app, which can presumably unlock even more secrets. These interactive elements are called activities. If you find 3 keys, you can unlock a special activity, a battle with Bowser Jr. Miyamoto also gave a brief tour of the 1-Up Factory, the gift shop, with exclusive Mario merchandise that can only be purchased at the park. Miyamoto says some items were developed in collaboration with Nintendo developers. I don't think they mentioned it here, but they're talking about that toy. Did you see that? That little
the walking Mario.
Is it Taco or something like that?
Taco Mario. Yeah,
it looked really cool. I'm like, oh, I would definitely buy one of those if I ever went there.
$200 tour on eBay. Just watch.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yes. Oh man, the scalpers are just drooling.
After some brief stops at the restaurants where Mario-themed food will be served, Miyamoto ended his tour with the Mario Kart ride, a roller coaster where attendees work together to fight Bowser. There's also an AR glasses component to the ride. So there's a lot of other elements that they didn't really mention in this article here. The first one that I want to point out is at one point when Miyamoto is like walking around, and I think he's about to go in the restaurant, he runs into like a Mario and Luigi like costume mascot character to like take pictures with or whatever. And I really appreciate that they're doing the full like robotic or mechanical eye, whatever you call it, like all the facial features on Mario and Luigi. They like talk and their like eyebrows will move and they have like expressions, and I really like that.
Yeah, it's like there's suits that are worn by people, but there's like animatronics in the faces.
Exactly. Yeah, they look really good.
Oh man. Five nights in Nintendo Land, it's happening, or 5 nights in Nintendo World.
Kinda, yeah. Disney actually had that tech, and I don't think they use it as much. But I remember when I went to Disney World, there was a Mickey who had like, he could talk and his eyes would blink and he'd have different expressions.
I'll tell you what, when I was in Disney World, I felt like you would think that these costumes would have that kind of technology. There were a lot of, I mean, this is a tangent, but there were a lot of character costumes in Disney World that I thought like were really cheap. Like I think when we were in Toy Story World or Toy Story Land, whichever it was, the Buzz Lightyear costume and the Woody costume just looked so bad.
They do look outdated. I know what you mean.
Like I get it. Like they can't make it look just like Woody because like there's no way a person would probably be able to fit in that costume. But like the Woody character's neck looks so fat. Like it was just weird. Like, again, you guys can Google this, but like the Buzz Lightyear and the Woody costume specifically, I'm just like, wow, this is not Disney quality. But like for example, the Mario and Luigi costumes right here, they look great though. They have the blinking eyes, they have sound bits and everything. Like it's awesome. That's like they're really good costumes.
The Buzz Lightyear one that you're talking about, his like grin is like a little unsettling to me.
Yeah,
it's like not like happy. It's like almost aggressive. It's like, ooh, I want to take a picture with you, Buzz.
Yeah, no, almost like they're like cheap knockoffs. You know, not like official Disney costumes. But yeah, I digress.
I would say that the reason for that is probably because a lot of these like costumes cost a lot of money. Even the ones that you're saying are cheap, they probably did cost like a decent amount to make. But you know, Disney should have a lot of money, so yeah, why aren't we at the point where every costume character is kind of like that? You know?
Well, yeah, I'm thinking like Disney. I'm sorry to say, I think Disney has more money than Nintendo.
Exactly. Yeah.
So like, and they clearly like never spare an expense. Like they'll throw. They have so many Mickey dollars to throw at stuff. Like I'm surprised they don't have like just actual like walking robots that actually don't hurt people. You know, like I don't know. Anywho,
back to Super Nintendo World. So yeah, the like mascotted characters look really cool. Another thing which is pretty neat is like right when you walk through the warp pipe and you enter, you kind of go through like a little like Princess Peach's castle, and I thought it was really neat. They have like a recreation of like the Babam Battlefield painting on the wall, and it'll like actually change, which I thought was really neat.
Yeah.
What else? I mean, I really enjoyed when he kind of like walked through that like underground maze that kind of reminds you of like the underground areas of Super Mario.
Yeah, you know.
There was, of course, I watched this live because it was like a Nintendo Direct type thing. Miyamoto like showed off like one of the interactivity things where you kind of like have to time like launching a shell at a POW block at a Koopa to like knock it down.
Yeah, it's kind of neat too.
All I was thinking of is I wonder how they're going to regulate this kind of stuff. Like I wonder if there's going to be lines for people to like do these things, or if people have to kind of like self-regulate that.
I think it's funny. I think like in the video, like us seeing that, it was like, okay, cool. Like this looks like so much fun. But you know that when they actually go there for the for the park, yeah, there's gonna be like a line of like 50 people trying to do this. You know, like it won't be as fun because there's just so many people there.
Right.
Like it's one thing to have Miyamoto being the only person in the park, and he's like, oh, look how fun this is. But when there's like 10,000 people there, I can imagine some of these games being not so not attainable. But like you know what I'm saying, there's going to be lines.
I do think that this aspect of the park is actually really cool. Now, granted, this isn't a new thing. I know Disney World for a while has, I forget what it's called, but they have their own AR thing with like cards that you go around the park. And if you scan it, have you ever heard of this? Like if you scan it at certain portals, you can do like little battles with these card packs.
Yeah, I actually have some. It's like their own like little like trading card thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of neat. Like someone gave them to me, and I didn't try it when I was last in Disney World, but it was kind of neat. I think that's definitely a fun.
It's
little
like an
thing.
Easter egg, like mini game thing.
Yeah, I think there's like a phone app for it and everything.
Yeah.
The other thing I think is kind of cool is that Nintendo is utilizing that like wristband technology that Disney also uses.
Yeah,
and that's like a great way just to, like again like to keep track of everything. Again, there's a smartphone app, so it seems like like this is one thing that Nintendo is doing right, where they're basically not copying, but they are using similar technology that Disney World uses, and I think it's going to make like its visitors, have a lot more fun interacting with the world. Like, being able to like as you said, like they can like interact with like the power blocks or the question mark blocks and achieve like digital coins. Like I think that's really cool. Like them being able to interact with the park and find secrets is like amazing.
I will say though, I think it is funny with those like wristband things that you're talking about. Right now they showed like 6 different variants. There's going to be tons of different variants. They can make
the Bowser variant.
Yeah, they'll make all sorts of Waluigi, you name it.
There'll be a rare variant. Just watch. Like there'll be one that's like really hard to come by.
Of course, there's screens of the 1-Up factory is what their one like merchandise store is, and there's some really cool like Nintendo merch that I've like never seen. A lot of neat like hats based on like enemies, like there's like Goomba and Blooper and Chain Chomp. It's neat. Also some really good looking plushies. On the article I'm looking at, here's this Taco toy, which looks really neat. What else we got here? Miyamoto eating popcorn out of a Power Star. Oh, I thought this was neat. The like in the like restaurant, I forget what this restaurant's called. Kinopio's Cafe. I think that might just mean Toad's Cafe.
Yeah, Kinopio. I'm not sure who that is. Yeah, who's Kinopio?
But what I thought was neat is in the restaurant, there's like a bunch of like TV screens, which are supposed to be like windows to the back room. And it actually is like all these toads like creating your food, which I thought was really neat. Like a very immersive type thing.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of neat too. Like obviously, it's just kind of fun that like little TVs are showing like, oh look, the toads are making the food in the back. Yeah, I think that's just a lot of fun. And actually, I did look it up. Yeah, apparently Kinopio is Japanese for toad.
Okay.
Or like or that's what they call toad.
Right, kind of like how they call Bowser Koopa.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the restaurant, the food looks really cool. Like just how it's all designed, like with Mario themes, like the Mario burger, the like upside down pizza toadstool thing. Like it all looks really delicious and great.
To be fair, I want that Mario burger really badly.
Yeah, it looks super delicious. And even like the little desserts that like the question blocks, like it's great. It all looks great.
Yeah. And I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, last but not least, then they give us a very brief showing of the roller coaster Mario Kart ride. I still really don't know what that thing is because there was no like experience of the ride. They kind of just showed more of like the queue, so to say, where you see the stuff inside, like the different trophies. There's like a special Universal trophy themed Mario Kart. It looks great though. I'm also very interested to know how the AR aspect works.
I am kind of curious too. I want to say Disney had some things like that where you can interact with the ride. Like I think there's like a Buzz Lightyear ride that kind of does
love that game. Yeah, ride.
Yeah, I am pumped because I just think that Bowser's Castle. Cause I think Bowser's Castle is where this Mario Kart ride is, and it just I just want to go through Bowser's Castle so bad.
I mean that statue of Bowser at the top of the staircase. Yeah,
it's awesome. Oh
it's
my god,
life size. It's incredible. It's menacing.
Yeah. I really hope. I think it was Arlo who made this point, and I totally agree. I really hope that there actually is like a Bowser costume. Like, obviously, it might be like gargantuan in size, but I hope there is like one point where like someone walks around like somehow in a Bowser costume.
That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be pretty cool. Kind of like how like in Disney World, I'm making a lot of parallels to Disney World. If you're in like I think it's not MGM Studios, Hollywood Studios.
Hollywood, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes the Empire will march through, like all the Star Wars characters, the Empire will walk through and everything, like with the Stormtroopers. So that'd be kind of cool if like every like hour or so Bowser just walks through like, I don't know, like Toad Town or something. I think that'd be kind of cool.
And even to add to your comparison, in Disney World, they even had like big characters. Like they'd have like people dressed up as like a realistic looking like raptor, and like there'd be like someone who accompanies them to help them move around. But it's like this big life-like raptor, but it's obviously like someone dressed up, you know. But they could do something like that with Bowser. Yeah.
Oh, and here's one last thing. I was really intrigued when they said that if you like, you know, unlock like so many like secrets, or if you can like earn enough secret points, you can fight Bowser Jr. And I can only imagine what that means. Like, is there someone in a Bowser Jr. costume, like maybe like with like in the clown car, and you just get like and like do you fist fight them, or is it like a mini? Is it like a mini game or something? I don't know. I'm kind of curious.
What I assumed it is when you actually collect all the things, whether they be the keys or whatever, you go to some part of this little theme park area, and maybe like a mechanical Bowser Jr. will like pop out of somewhere, and then you do like a little mini game, like fighting him or something. I don't know. Like, there's probably a Bowser Jr. like hidden in the park somewhere, like a fully animatronic one.
Yeah, or it's just like something on your phone that you do.
That God too. Knows. Yeah, you get a free stamp because you beat Bowser Jr. Yay! You waited in 3 lines for several hours.
And I'll do it all over again.
Also, like, Bowser's castle itself just looks really cool. Like,
it does, yeah. All the worlds here do.
Yeah, they did a great job, like, bringing that world to life.
I just want to go so bad. Luckily, it seems like California and Florida will get their own.
Yeah, I could see like maybe at the end of like next year, like those could be open.
If only.
Potentially.
If only. I have no idea if they even began construction of these places. Maybe they have. I don't know.
But that's all I got. That's our last news story. Very light news this week. Yeah.
Yeah. Still good. A lot of good stuff, though, so I really can't complain.
Yeah. But now we're going to move on to our second segment of the podcast, where me and Mike are going to talk about what we've been watching and playing over this past week. What do you think, Mike? Should I go first? Do you want to go first?
Who went first last week?
I think it was you, because you didn't really have a lot that you were doing last week.
Okay. I mean, not saying that you don't have enough to talk about, but do you want to go first this week?
Sure, why not?
All right, wing it.
All right, so I mentioned up front, I watched Jingle All the Way. I'm probably going to watch more Christmas movies this coming week, considering the actual holiday Christmas is about to happen. So I have to, let it all out, essentially. I've also been watching more JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5. That remains good. Really enjoying that. Also, I don't know about you, Mike, but I finished The Mandalorian Season 2.
Oh, yes. I did as well. If you want, we can talk about it now if you want to.
So, I don't think I want to spoil anything about it because it's very fresh. I definitely don't want people to not experience this. I will say I'm glad the internet has been pretty kind. I feel like a lot of these episodes of The Mandalorian, people kind of went like straight on social media and just spoiled everything. But this last episode, mostly I've been just seeing are people reacting to it, and everyone was very positive. A lot of emotional reactions too. So I didn't really know what was going to happen, but yeah, it was just kind of that discourse, which I appreciated. And all I was going to say about The Mandalorian Season 2 is it had like one of the most like kind of like bleh, like nothing openings, but like it really got there at the end, and it like honestly might have crushed the first season with just it nailed the landing so well of that last episode.
I can totally agree with that. Yeah, like the beginning at first kind of, I think it was a combination of like just yeah, and maybe this is just my opinion. Poor poor dialogue. I think like the way that I think Boca like this is not really much of a spoiler, but like we have some characters that like really just don't deliver their lines very well at least in the very first opening portion of the episode. At least to me, it felt that way. It was very just stale. The way they were talking. It's like I don't know, almost like not monotone, just not really. They weren't really driving it home. But then once it got to like the middle of the episode, then it really picked up, and then it kind of like, as I think you said it best, they stuck the landing perfectly. Like it was just like from the middle of the episode to the end, it was just great.
Yeah, it was literally like like every episode almost just seemed to get better and better like as they kept going. I'm trying to just think like what I can really say about the last episode other than I just really enjoyed it, because I don't really want to, like I said, spoil anything.
Yeah, I guess we can probably say this, that it definitely makes us it makes me question what's next for the Mandalorian.
I agree.
Because it's what happened definitely makes me think like they could either end the show right now, or they just continue where they left off, and they have to come up with like a new story or like a new plot, I guess, for Mando to follow. And I think this is a good way. Again, I'm sorry if I'm spoiling for some people, but I'm going to do my best to not spoil it. I would say that this episode did a very good job delivering what a lot of the classic fans were hoping for from the sequel trilogy, and what they didn't get. I think this did a very good job of not pandering, but I think it delivered what people were asking for, and
right.
That's kind of how I can describe it.
And again, I don't want to spoil too much, but like you were saying, like this is kind of like a clean cut. Like you definitely do have that question of, where do they go from here? Like I wonder what's going to happen with the Mando story. But they do have a couple like branches they can pick off of. But yeah, man, it was just really, really well done.
Yeah,
I didn't see that ending coming. I was very excited when it happened.
Luckily, like I lost it. I was just like, oh my gosh, they're doing it. They're doing it.
Yeah.
Amanda was laughing at me.
I don't need to. I need to say no more. I think we'll leave the fans go watch it. But I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. But I didn't really watch too much else other than that. I surprisingly have a lot of different games I've been playing over this past week. So, first of all, I'd like to shout out that we continued playing the Luigi's Mansion 3 Let's Play. And that happened a few days ago, so I even just forgot like where we were, and I had to go watch our little recording. And I remembered that we were about to do the pirate restaurant themed level, and I just started going on that level, and then Luigi finds this like ship mass that he can't like suck up. And there's like this weird like electrical outlet there, and Egad's all like, "Oh, you see that electrical outlet? Well, you actually need this upgrade to your vacuum to do a super suck. So why don't you come down here and backtrack through the second basement again? Because we all know how much I love that level." But yeah, that was interesting. I didn't actually expect that I was gonna go back to specifically that level. I feel like I was just there, especially if I was just playing this for a few hours. Like that was only like 2 floors later that you're like, okay, go back there.
True. Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting. But I mean, that game, I'm still just really thoroughly enjoying it. It's a very well made game. I did get the power up, and I got the super suck, and then you unfortunately let me know that you're probably not going to be doing that much more in the rest of the Let's Play.
Yep.
But yeah, the pirate themed restaurant level, a lot of fun. I didn't expect like that whole area with the ship and the big ocean, and I really enjoyed the boss fight there. That was a lot of fun. But overall, just continue to have a lot of fun with that. It's good to shoot Toad at things and watch him break everything as the most indestructible being. That's like his superpower. Like Toad could be some sort of like hero that's just like blast me in this cannon. I can't get destroyed.
Yeah, he's kind of like Kenny. He just can't die.
Yeah,
you know?
pretty much. So that's going well. I'm enjoying that. Also, in speaking of recording, I hit up my boy, Abra Gaming, and we didn't record anything necessarily, but we're in the process of starting to figure out what we're going to record. So we're probably going to stop the Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu Let's Play, unfortunately. I don't know what I want to do with that game, though, because I did really enjoy playing it. Maybe I'll just end up playing it by myself at some point, because I was really digging it. But yeah, we are going to be switching over to playing a little bit of Destiny 2.
Oh, cool.
I actually played Destiny 2 whenever it originally came out. I think it was in 2016. And I played the first Destiny. I know what those games are. I enjoyed Bungie. You know, I've talked about many times how I love like the Halo series. And those games are really good. They're just a game that like I don't get invested in. I usually just like playing them for the content that was there, and then I would just move on. But since that game came out, which I think it came out in 2016, a lot of things have happened to it. Initially, Activision and Bungie kind of like, well, Activision published it, but Bungie produced it. And then Bungie was able to take Destiny and run. So now Bungie is just doing everything for Destiny, which is a good thing. So they're kind of like rolling back a lot of features from Destiny 1 into Destiny 2, as well as adding a lot of new expansions to the world and kind of just more like making it way more interesting. And so it's very odd for me to go back to this game after 4 years, and it's actually like very different. But oddly enough, it wasn't that different, because I believe that they took all the content from Destiny 1 and actually put it into Destiny 2. So when you first start a character in Destiny 2, you actually play through the beginning content of Destiny 1. So it was like a super weird like deja vu, because I started a new character and I was running through the beginning sequence of Destiny 1, which I remembered because you start on Earth, you go to different planets in Destiny. And it is kind of an iconic thing. Like you run through these like all these wrecked cars and this like little abandoned like warehouse or whatever. And they kind of, you know, run through all the mechanics of the game. But I was just like so in shocked, because I was like playing a new game, but I was playing the original game in the new game. It was like weird. I didn't expect it. There's also a bunch of like, they changed like where the weapons go. Like you have a slot for each different weapon type. They have different ammos. All the classes are a little bit different now. There's like way more going on like that I'm just not used to, that I kind of almost have to learn again. But it's been a lot of fun. You know, it feels good to shoot the guns in Destiny. I think that's one of Bungie's like strong points, is they make really good gameplay. So I've been enjoying that. I'm sure I'm going to play more of that over the next coming months. So keep tuned for that. I'll probably be putting Abra will be putting something up on Loudstone Entertainment, or I think he might be making a new YouTube channel. I forget what he was telling me.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be sure to keep in touch with him and make sure I follow it.
Thank you. I'll let everyone know when we start doing that stuff more.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Besides that, I have been playing a little bit more Black Ops Cold War. So there was a big update that came out, I think it was like 2 weeks ago. They had a few new maps. They added their first like season or battle pass of content. There's like a new Warzone map. I really want to check out that new Warzone map, and I even want to play Warzone with the Black Ops content in there. It's kind of weird what they're doing. Like Activision essentially made Call of Duty Warzone its own thing, but it takes like elements from Black Ops Cold War and puts them into Warzone, but Warzone is still like running on the Modern Warfare engine and has Modern Warfare elements from it, because the games don't necessarily play the same because they're developed by Infinity Ward and Treyarch. So it's a very odd thing that's going on here. Also, I thought it was very odd that when I go to my Battle.net launcher, where all the Call of Duty games are, they just completely wiped out Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and now it just says Call of Duty Warzone. Like Modern Warfare just is Warzone now, which I thought was very weird. It doesn't even have the iconic MW logo. It just says Warzone, like 2 words. And I was just like, wow, they literally just made it Warzone. Huh. But yeah, they're just gonna continue to support that like any battle royale, and I get it. It's doing really well. It's popular. Like I said, I do want to check out that new map and just get back into Warzone. I haven't played it in a few months, but I have been playing the regular multiplayer for Black Ops Cold War, and I've actually been having more fun with it. You know, I've just been grinding out like more of my guns, trying to unlock more attachments, as well as unlock the new content in the Battle Pass. And I've actually been having a lot of fun with it again. So I'll probably get back in the swing of playing that. I've also been continuing to play Dark Souls. I've been playing a lot of that. This has just been a really good like comfort food game for me to go back to. I just really enjoy the gameplay of those games, as well as like the world structure and everything really about those games. I think last week when I started the game, I was kind of saying how I didn't really know like what kind of weapon I was going to use, and I was getting like really punished because I haven't played in a while. Well, now I've kind of like done a complete like 180, and now I'm like kind of getting back in the swing of things, not really taking as much damage and dying as much. I actually have like good weapons now that I like. And I mean, that's just kind of, I think, the nature of playing a Souls game, where the beginning of the game where you kind of are very underpowered is very hard. But once you get over that little hump and you get like a really good weapon, or you just level up a few times, it kind of becomes way more like trivial. And you just kind of have to learn like how each enemy works, how each boss works. And it kind of just becomes like way easier. So like I said, I've just been enjoying like going through that game, beating the bosses. I'm just trying to do a regular, like, just a 100% complete, or not 100% completion, but just a whatever you call, like a default, like game complete. I'm not trying to do anything crazy, but I've been enjoying that. For anyone who knows Dark Souls, I just got the Lord Vessel, and I just beat one of the 4, I forget what they're called. There's like, once you get the Lord Vessel, which is the item that lets you fast travel, then you have to like claim 4 like great souls. Maybe that's what they're called. But that's kind of the way they guide you to where you have to go next. And they're not necessarily that hard of bosses. They're just kind of annoying getting to them, going through the different areas. But I'm just working on that. Right? I beat the 4 kings in the Abyss, and now I'm also heading down to the depths to defeat the Great Lord. Or wait, actually the depths is where the Abyss, or the kings of the Abyss are. I'm heading down into, oh gosh, I don't remember the name of it, but I'm going to fight Great Lord Nito. He's a big like skeleton made of a bunch of other skeletons. He's got a big like sword, scythe hand. He's actually a piece of cake, though. He's like one of the easiest bosses. You just like get behind him and wail on his booty.
It's interesting. I thought there were no easy bosses in this game.
That, you know, it's funny because a lot of the bosses, like some of them, you can just literally walk around. Like it's a lot of just strafing. Like most of the bosses, they just get behind them. They can't really do much. They all might have like one attack that will do like a 360 or hit behind them. But if you just dodge that, you're usually fine. Like a lot of the ways you kind of just abuse the game is pretty much just letting the AI of the enemies kind of bug out. So a lot of times they won't be doing anything because they don't understand what the player's doing. So you can just kind of run up and get like a few, like 2 or 3 free hits and then get out of there. And then sometimes with the way you roll, if you roll at the right timing, you actually get invincible frames on your roll. So you won't take any damage if you time it perfectly correct. So I've actually started getting the hang of that again. So now I can kind of just roll through any attack.
That's always fun.
Yeah. And rolling's like the whole thing with that game. You know, it's fun. And like I said, I got like good weapons. There's like every Dark Souls has like, there's like 1 or 2 items where it's like, oh, you kind of just use that the whole time. Like in Dark Souls, the first one, there's this item called the Grass Crest Shield, which is a pretty good shield. But the main reason you use it is because it boosts your stamina. So, well, it will boost your stamina recharge rate. And your stamina is how you roll, how you run around and swing your weapon and stuff like that. So pretty much every playthrough I've had of Dark Souls, I always use the Grass Crest Shield because it's just constantly boosting you and allowing you to dodge more and swing your attack or swing more attacks, etc. Anywho, though, I love that game. That game's a gem.
Nice.
I also have been playing more Cyberpunk 2077. I'd like everyone to know that after 10 hours of gameplay, I finally hit the title card. I was apparently just playing the prologue. I don't know. From what I understand, that was the prologue, and now I'm getting into Act 1. I will say I do like what the story is. Since it's a few weeks since this game came out, I'll just talk about what's kind of going on. So when you initially start the game, you kind of are like meeting with this other like gangster who kind of wants to make it big. Like there's a lot of like gangs in Cyberpunk, and you kind of are trying to like join one or create your own and get like good street rep and just kind of make like a lot of money to like get by or whatever your goals as your character are. And you kind of go on this like big heist with this one guy, and you're doing it with like your best friend character at the time. And unfortunately when they're doing that heist, there's like this bio chip or something. It's like a USB chip or data chip or whatever. And one of the characters has to like put it in his like system. It's in like a crate, but the crate gets like damaged. And like putting it in your system can actually like really mess up your body essentially and could like eventually make you die. And that's actually what happens to like your best friend character, which is kind of sad because he's like helping you escort the chip out, but it's essentially like draining his like body because it's like a bio weapon or something like that. And then you, as the main character, V, put that chip inside your body because, he died. He can't really house it anymore. And that's kind of where the story gets interesting, in my opinion, because when you insert this chip, you actually see memories from the last user's mind. And it wasn't your friends, but it was the guy who initially had the chip, which is the character named Johnny Silverhands, which is the character that Keanu Reeves plays.
No.
And you kind of learn that this data that's in your head of this Johnny Silverhands character, he was like some sort of like terrorist from a few years ago, but I guess you're kind of going to have moments where you get to play as him and kind of see what he did. I haven't gotten too far into the story after this. I stopped right after this mission, but this is what it's making me interested now, like seeing this story. Like I kind of want to learn more about this character. You're having moments where like the character you play, V, will wake up and like Johnny Silverhands will be in your apartment talking to you, but he's like not there. He's almost like a AI or like a hologram or a ghost or something like that. But he's kind of like being like, why are you? Like I should be in control here. Like, why are you in control? And there's like, it seems like a lot of cool like back and forth. This character who you thought was evil actually ended up helping you survive. And I was actually just about to go like talk to him and see what's up in the game. I haven't played it in a few days, but I'm just still really enjoying it. It's a good game, even though I'm playing on the PS4 and it doesn't look that great, but it is a very good game. Other than that, I have also played a lot of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate recently. Really digging Sephi Boy with his big old sword. I think he's a really good character. He something about him being the first villain DLC character I think is really cool. I kind of realized I don't really play a lot of like villain characters, but I kind of think it's neat like playing Sepiroth as a villain. I don't know why. I just feel bad, guys, and it feels good to be bad or whatever. But he's I think he's a very like deliberate character where like he has a lot of good moves with his aerials and his smashes and whatnot, but if you can kind of see them coming, I feel like you can easily counter Sephiroth. So I think he's very good, but I wouldn't necessarily say Sephiroth is a broken character. I kind of feel like once everything shakes up, people kind of be like, oh, he's like an average character. Like I wouldn't necessarily say he's good or bad, but I'd say he's like somewhere in the middle. Because of course, his sword has huge hitboxes, and even when he gets his like winged form, all his smash attacks have like super armor, which is pretty crazy. Also, he has like his one projectile, the like Giga Flare or whatever, the one where you charge up and do like a big like explosion. That thing's pretty good if you get hit by it. It'll probably KO you at like 30 or 40%. But it's been a lot of fun. I've been like trying to learn him because I think he's, like I said, pretty fun to play. Also, just like getting myself back into Smash. I haven't played for a few months, so I was, playing more Link and just trying to get used to it again. But I've been having a lot of fun doing like the online tournaments and the like Elite Smash and stuff like that. So I kind of just added Smash back into like my routine of games I play.
Okay, nice.
And yeah, last but not least, I also played that Back 4 Blood alpha. I'm going to be honest, I wish I got to spend more time with this. I only got to play like one level of like or not one level, I should say, but I only got to play like an hour of the first act. So if you guys, this game is very much like Left 4 Dead for those who haven't played or don't know what this game is. And in Left 4 Dead, the levels were split up by these like movie posters, and there would be like different parts in the level. So it'd be like, oh, this one's themed like a carnival. And you go through like different sections of the level, and there's usually like one end segment, which is like the conclusion where like shit hits the fan and it gets really crazy, and there's a bunch of like boss zombie characters coming at you, and you really have to like defend to get out of there. But then it's like paced during the other levels where you're kind of just running through. Maybe there's like one or two things you have to wait for to like get to the end. But Back 4 Blood is very much like that. Like it's structured similar. You go from a safe room to another safe room. In between there are items you picked up. I'll say the main thing with Back 4 Blood is there's just way more going on. I think I might have tweeted about this, but it just does seem like a very evolved Left 4 Dead, which isn't a bad thing. I thought the gameplay felt really good. I liked what the new special infected are going on in there. The game actually seemed a little bit harder, which I didn't expect. You have that nice like character of the other characters like talking and interacting, and they all seem like they have good personalities going on. I like that. Something that they added in this game is you can find this currency called copper, and I think you'll even earn it from doing different things. And in the safe room, you can actually buy things with your copper. So you can buy like different types of grenades. You can buy healing items. You can buy attachments for whatever gun you have. You can buy more ammo for your different types of guns, because everything now has ammo you can collect. There's different types of ammo you pick up as you like kill zombies and scavenge the area. You can also get upgrades. There is like a big thing with this game with like different cards that you give your characters. And, we love cards here at Level With Me. And these cards are like buffs. So it'll be like, oh, your character has a extra like, I forget what they called it, offensive equipment slot, which is like your grenade. Or it's like, oh, instead of your melee just being like you hit them with your gun, your melee is replaced with a knife that counts as a melee weapon. That one was pretty good. And then there's like passive stuff where it's like, oh, when you're healing your teammates, like you'll also heal a little bit, or maybe you'll heal them faster. Like these were all very little minor passive buffs. Some were even like, oh, you start the game with an AK-47 or something like that. And I'm sure they're going to tone all these, and I don't know how they're going to do it in the final game. This is an alpha, so it's a very early build of the game. Actually, I also want to say that I was having a hard time running this game on my PC, which I was kind of surprised by. I do think it looks good. I don't know if it was just from all the zombies, or I don't know what it was. Maybe the big zombies, but I was having a little bit of issues running the game. Overall, though, I did really enjoy what I played. I think it seems like a lot of fun. It's very much a Left 4 Dead style of game. You definitely do need to coordinate with your team, which was something I wasn't used to. I'm not going to say it's too much coordination like a Rainbow Six Siege or anything where you have to be like, all right, 3, 2, 1, shoot the zombie. It's more or less just like, hey, you need to be with your team. And I think that's just something I forgot because I haven't played Left 4 Dead in a while. But you can't like go off on your own because, if you do that, you're going to get attacked by the new hunter type zombie, which instead of it pouncing you, it throws like spider webs on you and you can't get out. Like one of your teammates has to either shoot you or melee you out of the spider webs. So you kind of always have to stick as a team. Now, the one thing that did suck about just playing with randoms is I rarely found any of the items all around the map. And like I said, there's a lot of loot now. It's not just a gun or a grenade. Like there's different types of ammo you pick up. There's the copper. I think you can even find like the attachments around the area. But I rarely found any of that stuff in my short time playing this, unfortunately. So I didn't get to use too many different weapons. I mostly just used the pistol and the AK I had from the get-go. But I did enjoy the shooting of them. It felt good. I also wanted to say just one negative thing, which also kind of made me not want to play the game. But literally the first match of the game I played, the only match I played, one of my teammates was yelling at me that I didn't know how to play the game.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not like this game just came out as an early alpha.
Like I said, there's the new version of like the Hunter is the zombie that will throw like spider web on people. And I didn't even know how to get people out of it until my teammate yelled at me like, all you have to do is fucking hit me to get me out of this. And I'm just like, oh, cool. The game literally just came out and I'm already getting yelled at. Nice. It's not even out yet. It's an alpha. PC gaming. I should say gaming in general.
Yeah, I was this 10-year-old sure know what you're talking about.
Oh, man. I wish he was 10. He sounded like he was probably like 20-something. Gosh.
No.
Crying over Back 4 Blood, like God forbid your stats in Back 4 Blood, or oh, I have 16 deaths. Like, who cares? Yeah, you're right, Leo. I should probably shut up. That's pretty much my week, though. I wish I got to play more Back 4 Blood. I tried to play it on their last day, but it kept saying I couldn't connect to the server. I ideally just wanted to play by myself, but of course it's an alpha. They wanted to test like their online and stuff like that because I played a lot of Left 4 Dead by myself, honestly.
I actually enjoyed the single player campaign.
Right,
obviously, obviously it's fun to play the campaign or the online with friends, but I was perfectly fine just chilling, just playing a zombie game by myself, you know.
And I'm gonna be honest. I think another reason that I didn't really. I mean, I was busy this weekend. Why I wasn't drawn to play more Back 4 Blood is deep down in my heart, I know I'm going to buy this game. It was fun. And sometimes when I see new games coming out, like I just won't even, if I just see like one trailer and I'm sold, I'll be like, okay, I'm not going to look at this product ever again because I know I'm going to buy this game at some point, you know? So I will purchase Back 4 Blood and play more of it when it comes out. And I think it's supposed to come out next year at some point, but yeah, I liked what I played, minus the person ruining the game, but that's not the game's fault. That's that guy just being toxic. I digress, though. That's all I got to say. That was my week. What about you, Mike?
Well, let me say, needless to say, it sounds like you will be Back 4 Blood next year.
Absolutely.
Badoom. Well, for me, I didn't do too much. Again, I've just been really busy this last week, but I did manage to actually watch a new show, he thinks show. It's actually a movie, and this movie is pretty interesting. So, I'm sure you know who Vince Vaughn is.
Love him.
Yeah, the comedian, whatever. So he's in a movie. I think it's specifically on Netflix, and it's called actually I forget what it's called. I think it's called like Brawl and Cell. I think it's called Brawl and Cellblock something. Brawl in Cellblock. Brawl and Cellblock 99. That's what it's called.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta look this up.
Yeah, it's funny. I actually got a lot of vibes. It reminded me a lot of American History X. Not like in exact terms of plot, but just like with the theme of the show, or I keep saying show, theme of the movie. So in this movie, Vince Vaughn plays this kind of like an ex-convict. You know, he's all like tatted up and everything. The ball, like the skinhead and everything. Kind of like, which is why I kind of saw like little glimpses of American History X with like the neo-Nazis and everything. So, you know, he's kind of like an ex-criminal, and he kind of like tries to get away from it all. But basically, I'm going to give you a very brief description because I don't want to spoil it. But the cool thing is he gets to get involved with the wrong people again. I think just for the sake of getting like some money, and you know he knows what he's doing, and he tells these people like, you know, look, if you want to do this job, follow me. Follow my instructions, and we'll make it out, okay? Like otherwise, we're gonna get in trouble, and I don't want to go to jail. He has like a wife, and I think his wife's pregnant. Like he's trying to like live a normal life, but I think he needed money or something. I kind of want to rewatch it. I only watched it the one time. And basically, something goes wrong, and he ends up having to go to jail. And while in jail, like the people that he was working with, are unhappy that they couldn't get their money or whatever. So they are threatening him while he's in jail, saying that you have to do this job, another job for us while you're in jail. And basically, he has to go and kill someone while they're in jail. And it's like, well, how am I supposed to get to this guy? Because again, I think it's like the other guys like in a different prison or like in a different section of the prison, like solitary confinement or whatever. And he's like, well, how am I supposed to get to this guy? And they're like, well, figure it out. And if you don't do it, we'll kill your family. Like they're holding his wife, his pregnant wife, hostage and everything.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it's really interesting. And again, the more I thought about it, I'm like, well, I'm really shocked that Vince Vaughn's playing a character like this. And it's funny because Vince Vaughn actually is like a pretty big dude, and you can tell he probably did like some training and like some weight loss to kind of look like he's more of like a tough guy in this movie, and he really does a great job portraying like the tough brawler look. Yeah. And it's really fun. It's a really fun movie to watch. So I would highly recommend, if you guys need to watch a good beat 'em up movie, it's Brawl and Cellblock 99.
I like Vince Vaughn. I might look into that.
Yeah, me too. And the best part is he does have his comic he has his comic relief in here, like the way he talks and everything. So there are some times where you chuckle and you think, oh, his inner comedian's kind of coming out in the character that he's portraying. So while he's like a badass, like skinhead, he still has his humor when in healthy doses, which is pretty cool.
Right. Yeah.
So that was cool. I kind of want to rewatch that movie because it was that good. I kind of want to rewatch it and see if I can understand it for a bit.
I know what you mean. Yep.
So there was that. I actually did believe it or not, I actually rewatched The Dragon Prince on Netflix again.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Because apparently I couldn't. I got right back to watching it and in my spare time, and again, watching it a second time, I enjoyed it even more the second time. Because I saw little things that I didn't pick up on. I didn't pick up on my first watch of the series.
Yeah, I always enjoy the second viewing for that same reason. It's fun.
Yeah. Again, any of you out there who are fans of Avatar: The Last Airbender, you'll definitely enjoy the Dragon Prince on Netflix. Watch it. What I've been playing recently, I'm sorry. I also, we talked about the Mandalorian, so that's
right.
Deal.
Yeah.
Also, I did watch Below Deck. Yeah. Of course, me and Amanda we love that. We love that show so much, and it was actually a really interesting episode because it was really crazy because this is the very first time we ever had it where, again, this show, for those of you who don't know, Below Deck is a show about yachting and the actual crew members who work on this 5-star yacht, and this is the first time ever where they're going through their briefing, they call it the preference sheet meeting, or like 1 or 2 days before the charter guests arrive, they kind of go over their preference sheet, and it's kind of like what the guests like to eat and drink, what they don't like, so and kind of like the little things that they're requesting that the crew members do for them, and. For the very first time ever, we actually had it where the one chef, and I could tell that this one chef was a little bit out there. She was kind of goofy, and I wasn't sure if she was just in some scenes maybe she was hungover from the night before when they go out to celebrate in between their charters and everything.
Yeah,
but the charter guests. Their preference sheet was pretty crazy, and she actually just straight up says I'm not doing this, and she was saying really really weird things. She was obviously saying things like "f off," and she was cursing. It was all being bleeped out, and then she was saying really weird things I don't want to say because I'm pretty sure it's probably inappropriate to say on YouTube.
Oh wow,
or Podbean. I don't even want to say
spicy words.
Icy words, yeah. Really weird words are just even Amanda's like, oh, that word's so gross. Don't say that word. Basically, it was bad. It was just pretty funny. I was laughing at it because it was, but she basically quit. She said, "Yeah, I'm not doing this." And then the captain's like, "What? You're just quitting? You're not even gonna give it a shot?" It was. Me and Amanda couldn't believe her. What are you doing? You're gonna ruin the entire charter. And it was the day before the charter guests come. It's and they couldn't get a chef in time. Now, luckily, this episode from this Monday, she actually did come back the morning of the charter. She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know what I was thinking." And I'm thinking, like, if I was the captain, I'm like, you're out of here. Like, I don't need someone like you who could just bail on us at any moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he had to keep her because they had no other option. So, and she did good on that. She was doing good. I think maybe she just had like a nervous breakdown or whatever. And I think the reason is because like we know that from watching the show, this episode of this is actually taking place right when COVID started. So like some of the people on the boat are getting like phone calls from their families saying, yeah, like COVID's getting pretty bad and the coronavirus is like spreading and
that is
the city,
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool like seeing like these people working in the middle of like the Pacific Ocean, knowing that back home or all over the world, COVID's starting to spread. Like it's pretty interesting. So maybe that's why she was just like, yeah, I'm trying. I don't need to do this. I just want to go home and like be with my family, or I don't know. That's kind of like the way I rationalized it in my head. That she was just like, yeah, like screw this. I'm just gonna go home and spend time with my family before the world ends. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, very
fascinating.
Yeah, very interesting episode. But yeah, now what I've been playing for the last week, well, we did do more of our Super Mario World Let's Play, and we actually did finish the Let's Play.
We beat that Bowser punk.
Yeah, that jerk in his goofy-looking clown helicopter car thing.
That he
still can't explain that.
That he gave to Bowser Jr.
Yeah, he gave it to his son as a hand-me-down. But yeah, and I think if you guys were watching our Let's Play of that, like I did get to Bowser's Castle and defeat Bowser. I did not complete the Star World yet. I was kind of hoping to do that maybe like in my spare time because those levels are so hard. I know it's going to take me a while to beat them. So maybe I'll play it in my spare time and record it. And I'll just edit out all my failed attempts. I don't know. I really didn't want to like waste too much time with Corey watching it. Because I mean, I'm sure Corey would enjoy watching those levels because they are really hard and difficult, but that's kind of what makes them fun. But I'm worried it would take too much time.
That's fair.
So maybe in the future. But yeah, I love Super Mario World. I think it is one of the highlights of my childhood. It's like one of the very first games I played on the Super Nintendo. So it holds a very special place in my heart. And I hope you enjoyed watching that Let's Play.
Oh, I did. It was a great time. And now we get to think of the next great time. Ooh.
I have two options. I'm thinking of playing. I wanted to continue with our Metroid Let's Plays and move on to Metroid 2, but I think I might go with another classic and like another first game in a series. And I'm thinking of doing Donkey Kong Country, the first Donkey Kong Country game.
That'd be a good
one. That'd be kind of fun. Yeah. So we'll see. Maybe we'll do a poll on the Level With Me Instagram. We'll see. Anyway, also a brand new game that I finally got a chance to play. I think I've been talking about this for the last podcast or two. Is Doom Eternal. And I do have the Switch version. I want to say there's a PC version, but I have my Switch, and I like those kind of styles of games. I like being able to sit down with a controller in my hand and play the game. You know, those like the FPS games.
Right? Yeah. It's the most you feel most comfortable there.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I enjoy the PC ones. I just prefer to sit down with a controller in my hand on like my big TV. But anyway, I will say this right off the bat. This game does not look anywhere as good as the 2016 Doom game. At least the Switch version does not. Like, I was like shocked when I first booted the game up. I'm like, wow, this is like, maybe I'm exaggerating, but like when I was first playing it, I'm like, this is like Xbox 360 PS3 graphics. I was like really shocked, to be honest. Because the Doom 2016, when that came out and was, I think, ported to the Switch in 2017, it was done by the same company. I think they're called Panic Button. They're the guys that ported it over. I think they ported a couple games. Like I think they ported the Wolfenstein game 2 and everything. But anyway, so the Doom 2016 port for the Switch was actually like really good. Like I mean, obviously, yeah, the frame rate's not exactly as high as the Xbox and the PS version. The graphics aren't as sharp, but regardless, the game looked really good. It looked like, yeah, this is a modern game on the Switch, and they did a great job with it, you know? But man, when playing Doom Eternal on the Switch, I have to admit, guys, this is a game I cannot recommend you to play. Like, if you have an Xbox or a PlayStation, or I guess on your PC, get the game for that. I mean, like, I have is Yeah,
Okay.
all I have is my Switch. That's why I got it for it. But man, I'm telling you, the game just does not. All I'm saying is, if you have the other consoles, I would say just get it for that console. As much as I always say, please support Nintendo and the Switch. I just feel like you're better off like just getting it for the other consoles for just for a better experience. Now, that being said, the game is by no means bad or broken. It's not like the game is like it doesn't work. I think it's just because maybe with the coronavirus and like the all the delays that were happening. I think this game was delayed a couple times, and they actually delayed it to the point where there was no physical release. I think the game is only available as a download on the Nintendo eShop. Like, maybe Panic Button really had a hard time porting it, because I feel like there was just like I can't really explain it. Like, the game is so like it's fuzzy and the textures aren't that great. Like, I would say the best textures in the game are when you're just playing the game and you're standing still, and like you can kind of just see like the textures on like your arms and the gun. But then like the world around you is not as detailed. The enemies don't look don't look that good. The frame rate's low. It's really just it's almost like disappointing, you know. And this is probably the first time. It's funny. It's probably the first time I ever really bashed the game on here on the podcast. You know, by like saying, "Oh, I played a new game and it wasn't what I expected."
That happens sometimes.
Yeah,
you got to be critical. It's understandable.
Yeah, and I'm saying this because I actually have been not trying to like sugarcoat it. I really was just a little disappointed. However, I'm only really disappointed with the game's presentation, because I will admit that the gameplay, the gameplay is obviously not really affected by this. The game is still loads of fun, and I will say that Doom Eternal definitely lives up to its predecessor. I do think I think Doom 2016 had a better job with its narrative and like telling a story. Like, this game kind of jumps into, oh yeah, by the way, this is right after the first game, and I don't know, maybe there was like a prologue that I missed, but I felt like this game kind of just plopped you in the middle of like this story. And it's like, wait a minute, this is not really like lining up with the first game. Like, I mean, basically it is. It's kind of like the first game was about you being on Mars, and there was like, there's like a invasion of hell on Mars, and then it like goes to Earth, and then this game is obviously like Earth is being invaded by hell, but it's like it didn't really like transition from the first game to this game very well. At least, again, maybe there's like a theater mode or a prologue that I missed, but it felt like it kind of just dropped you in the middle of the story. But regardless of that, the game kind of just throws you out right in the beginning. They say, here, take a shotgun. Like, they don't give you like an actual like pistol like in Doom 2016 that has like unlimited ammo. They give you a shotgun and they give you a chainsaw like immediately. And the cool thing is, while the chainsaw requires fuel, kind of like I'm pretty sure 2016 had like a fuel system for the chainsaw.
It did.
In this game, the chainsaw is used as your melee weapon when you run out of ammo. And I'll be honest, I run out of ammo all the time in this game. It seems like your ammo count is incredibly low, like really, really low. And although this game does have a really cool upgrade system where you can like increase your ammo count, like I think the very first part of the game, you're given a shotgun with 16 rounds. And the cool thing is, the Doom games, there's no like reloading. Like, you have 16 rounds, and it's like you can just fire through all 16 rounds of this shotgun, and then when you run out, you're all out. But that's where the chainsaw comes into play, because in the chainsaw lets you just kill any small enemy instantly, and then they just drop a bunch of ammo for you to pick up. So that's kind of how you like reload if you're in a tight pinch.
It's kind of like the flow of the combat. Like, they kind of, from what I understand from hearing about this game, they kind of want you to almost use all your tools. They just didn't want players to mostly use like one thing. So they kind of want you to like use like your shotgun until you run out of ammo, then either switch to another gun or use your chainsaw to get ammo. Because then there's also the glory kills, which give you, I think, armor or health.
Yeah, yep, health and armor, and they I think you're right. There is definitely like a nice flow. Like you never stop fighting. You just keep going and going.
Right.
Which is great. Again, the game is so much fun. Like, I really hope I didn't like try. I hope I didn't give people an impression that I thought the game was like bad. It just visually different. It was bad. Yeah.
Because you're deliberately comparing it to its predecessor, Doom 2016.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to quickly interrupt you and say, while you were discussing all about this, I did look up gameplay of Doom Eternal on the Switch as well as Doom 2016 on the Switch, and I can definitely see where you're coming from. The graphic fidelity seems lower, and the original or Doom 2016 on the Switch looks like it runs better. Like it almost looked like it was 60 frames per second. I don't know if it is, but yeah,
I want to say it's 30.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, but again, and maybe this game runs at 30, but there are just times where I think it's like the resolution is just so low. So maybe that's what maybe gives it the impression that it has a low frame rate. Like it's just, I don't know. Maybe I can look up what the actual specs were for the graphics. I just don't know off the top of my head. Just
right.
I just remember what I saw.
Okay.
But anyway, back to the positives. The gameplay is amazing. It's fast. It's fun. They introduced like new cool gameplay where but before you had like your melee attack with like your punches for like your glory kills. And this, they actually give you like a scythe or a sword on your left arm. So the glory kills, so the glory kill is actually pretty fun. Like where you're not just punching a demon to death, or like even though there are still some moments where like your glory kill will be like you maybe like ripping a demon's head off or like breaking its neck. You know, all the amazing gory stuff that you normally do. There are times where depending on like the angle at which you attack the demon, you'll use your blade on your left arm and you'll just cut the demon in half or like cut their head, like decapitate them, or like it's actually like really fun. And then on the bigger enemies, the glory kills are also pretty fun where you're just disemboweling them as they're like it's just a good fun time. And again, the story wise, I'm really not like really digging the story. It's cool, but I'm not like invested into it. It's more like, okay, I get it. Hell and demons are invading the earth. Let's see where we go. You know, I'm the first game. I think did a better job with its narrative. This one's kind of like, all right, look, the game kind of just like admits, you know, why you're here, you know what Doom is. Go ahead and go kill some demons and just have fun. And that's what I'm doing, and it really is a blast.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, and the weapons are. I think they're bringing back all these weapons and everything. But like so far, I haven't had any new weapons. Oh, I'm sorry. And another little cool feature is they do have they brought back frag grenades, which I think were in the last game. But now you also have a flamethrower, and it doesn't have like a fuel system, but it just has like a recharge where you press, I think, like the X button. And you do have like a brief like flamethrower on your back left shoulder. It's kind of like a weird, strange like third arm that you have, and it just blasts like an enemy with like a quick like thing of like napalm.
The flame belch.
The flame belch. Yes, that's what it's called. And it lasts like 1 or 2 seconds. But if you do that, it does like burn enemies, and I think it makes them drop armor quickly, so that kind of helps you gain some armor in a pinch.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. As far as like the villains go, like you have like the standard demons, you have like your imps, but they also have like the big Hell Knights, I think, which are just like the real big like bruisers that come around and like are actually kind of tricky. You have to be careful where they are, like because they just kind of just keep like ground pounding with their hands, and it takes damage. Like even though I think I'm playing, there's like 4 difficulties. There's like the easy mode, the normal mode, the hard mode, and like the very hard mode, and I forget what they're called. I think the second one I'm on is called Hurt Me Plenty, and because I thought I don't want to play easy mode, I'll play like the normal mode, and even so, I've died plenty of times. Like you do take damage very quickly in this game.
Oh yeah,
and you can get like pinched in a corner and just die. And but yeah, some of these like newer enemies are like, there's one I think it's called like an arachnotron, and it basically just looks like a giant like skull head with 4 legs and like a cannon on its back, and it's a pretty cool very cool like robotic demon enemy that like when you perform the glory kills, they're really fun. Besides that, I haven't fought any bosses yet, 'cause I think I only got past the first 2 levels, so I still have a lot more of the game to go through. But yeah, like I said, despite the presentation for the Nintendo Switch port not being all that's cracked out to be, or just nowhere near as good as it was in its predecessor, Doom 2016, this game has an amazing soundtrack, great sound design, and just amazingly fun gameplay. So no matter what system you're playing it on, this is a pretty fun, just first-person like zombie demon shooter game, just for a good time. Like I was actually looking for a good shooter game for the longest time, and I was really looking forward to this game coming out. And so far, I'm really enjoying it.
That's good to hear. For some reason I know that this game was like kind of divisive. I don't know why. I think it just has to do with a lot of like the mechanics of the game. Because I think I don't know how far you're in, but I know you get like a air dash, and I think you get like there's like first person
a grapple beam. I think
there's like first person platforming. Yeah,
I did get the air dash, and I think I heard there was like a grapple launcher or something, but I haven't gotten that far yet.
Yeah,
but we'll see. Yeah, that was a mouthful.
Yeah. When you talk about new games, it is tricky because it's like, I got a lot to say now.
Yeah, which is good because I haven't had like a new game to talk about for a while. So
right. But that's gonna wrap up our second segment, and now we're gonna move on to our final segment of the podcast, where we're gonna take some questions from you. That's the listener, and we have two ways of sending in your questions. You can either do so by sending us an email, which is at levelwithmepodcast@gmail.com. And it's still unfortunately empty, but that's okay. And then our second method of sending in questions is on our Instagram. Every Tuesday, we'll put up a poll where you can basically just submit a question through there, and then you'll get a shout out for your Instagram account. Mike, do we have any questions from the Instagram account this week?
We do, Corey, and I will say one thing. This is a very, very sad day because this is probably the first time, and God knows how long, that we did not receive a question from Owen Reese. I'm actually worried about the guy. He might be dead. We have to send out a search party for him.
You know, I think Owen's fine. He's probably just doing his holiday thing. Maybe he just didn't think of a good answer. Sometimes it's just hard to come up with random question. Or that's what I meant. A question.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he's out there. He's still listening.
Yeah, I'm just making a joke. I guess I was just thinking like, oh no, Owen, where are you? But we do have a question. And I just lost it. Oh no, I lost it.
Maybe we don't have a question.
No, I found it. Here we go. This actually comes from a Miss Amanda Kiesel. Oh, my fiance left us a question. How nice.
Okay.
And it's, I think, very appropriate for this time of the year. Her question is, what are you asking Santa Claus to bring you? Gosh. What am I not asking Santa to bring me? I want everything. I want a new TV, and I want a pony, and I want a hula hoop. I don't know.
A lifetime supply of meatball pizza.
Yes, man, you hit the nail on the head, Corey. That's all. What more does a man need?
I'd like a PS5. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I think it's probably the bit. That's probably on top of many people's lists. Asking Santa for the PS5.
What else would I like Santa to bring me? I don't know. Let's see here. What do I need? I pretty much got everything I need right here. What more is there? I don't even really need the PS5, honestly. Santa, you can skip me. Just give my gift to someone else. Just give someone 2 gifts. It's fine.
Oh, that's very generous.
I'll take one for the team. It's also my birthday 2 days after Christmas, so I usually get a bunch of gifts anyways.
Not bad. Let me see.
Thank you. Oh, what do you got?
Yeah. Come on. I have something to ask Santa too.
Well, I thought you just said the lifetime supply, the scooter, the hula hoop.
This is the scooter.
The old ball and paddle.
But they were just joke requests besides the meatball pizza. What I actually did want to ask Santa for were actually a couple retro video games.
Ooh.
Yeah, I definitely was asking around, and I really wanted to get Banjo-Tooie, the sequel to Banjo-Kazooie. I never owned that game.
Never heard of it.
And really? Well, you're missing out.
That was a joke.
Oh, thank goodness. Whew. Also, I thought it'd be nice to ask Santa for this. I finally did get 3 of my 4 highly champion amiibos, but I did not get Mifa. So I thought, you know what? I'll give Santa a freebie, and I was like, "Here, Santa, let me see if you can get me one of these. Give me the Mifa highly champion amiibo, and then I'll be pleasantly happy."
Hopefully, you're not getting one of them used Mifa amiibos because it might be a little sticky.
No. Well, it better be sealed. It better be sealed in the box, and if it's still sticky, then I'll be really impressed of how they did that.
I mean, I guess you'll never know if it's in the box because then you don't touch it. So
yeah, that's true. Oh, but now I'm always going to be staring at the ceiling when I go to bed, thinking, "Oh no, my Mifa could be dirty, and I'll have no idea."
It could be corrupt. It's not pure.
Must be cleansed. But thank you very much, Amanda, for contributing to the Level With Me podcast.
And I hope Amanda gets whatever she asked Santa for. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Don't worry, Santa's doing a good job. Assuming the post office doesn't screw up.
Santa, all I want you to do is make the post office work.
Yeah, Santa. I changed my mind. You know what I want the post office to.
Santa, I just want the world to be normal.
Yeah, make COVID go away.
I just want to go enjoy a movie.
Yes, I want to go to the movie. Santa, my wish is take me back to 2019 when things were normal-ish. Oh, and Metroid Prime 4 trailer. I want that for Christmas too. Come on, Santa.
You know, I was just listening to a podcast where they were kind of talking about like games that they could see coming out next year. And a lot of them were speculating that they could see like Metroid Prime 4 coming out next year. And I think it'd be really cool if like Nintendo honestly just, I mean, they could do this where maybe in the beginning of the year they would like tease us and almost pull a Bethesda where they're like, oh, and also this game's going to come out later this year. Like that would be a lot of fun. Maybe that's why they're so hush-hush about Metroid Prime 4. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe. I think personally, I think they're just maybe having some, not delays, but they're just chugging along given the pandemic situation. And I trust Retro because I know they're not trying to rush anything. Like they're just taking their good old time. If the game takes 3 years to make, so be it. I just want it to be good,
I think that's the thing. Yeah, they definitely want to take their time with it to make sure the fans really enjoy it.
Yeah. I'm not sure if we... this is a bit of a tangent. I'm not sure if we mentioned this in the podcast last week, but there was like a Retro Studios hiring.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I think it was for like the boss design and boss AI. And again, people who know more about game design than I do say, "Oh, that's actually a really good sign." I took it that as like, wait, I was like surprised, like, wait, they're just now getting someone to design bosses.
Ridley, he shoots fireballs, he stabs you with his tail. Done.
Yeah.
Hire me.
Next boss. Oh, by the way, you fight Ridley a second time.
This time he's got a metal arm. Ooh.
Whoa! Wait, we saw it before. but yeah. So people who know game design more than I do say that apparently it's very common for them to design the game and get it like in a playable state, and they just have bosses like they have like placeholders for bosses, so that way. Okay, the game works, but now you can actually design like the bosses like separately because it's not like the bosses may really like interact with the world you're in or interact with you. It's just like okay, like you have your game running, and you can just have like again like a placeholder for the bosses where you can have people design the bosses, design their AI, design how they like how you fight them, blah blah blah. So reading that one article kind of like gave me a bit of confidence, saying like great, like things are just moving along perfectly. They're just. Like, and the thing is, they're being very vocal about it. Like, usually when you hear about games being developed, they don't say, "By the way, we just hired the level designer, and then we just hired the sound, like the composer, and now we're hiring the boss AI."
We hired an intern to go get us coffee.
Yeah, we hired the janitor. It's like
someone's got to clean the toilets.
Yeah, I know it's not gonna be me, but So I think like the fact that Retro is being very vocal is kind of like a double-edged sword because like it's like great they're being very transparent, but then they just every time they make it higher, people just think, oh my gosh, they're just now hiring the lead producer or whatever. So
Okay, guys, I got a good idea for a new boss. His name's Rodney. He tells horrible jokes.
He's a big red tie.
And he's a space pirate. Hey, get out of my lair. I'm Rodney.
Well, Samus, are you killing my space pirates again? God, no respect. I don't get no respect.
Is Kraid stealing my... Oh, Kraid? Why'd you do that, Kraid? Kraid, you need to stop eating, man. You're like the size of a planet.
Charlie, are they stealing our jokes again?
No, Frank.
They're trying to talk like us again.
No, Frank, I don't know what they're doing. It's just a podcast, Frank. No one listens to podcasts.
Oh, everyone listen to this podcast. Come on.
Number one podcast in the world. And guess what? I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. Thank you for listening to the Level With Me podcast. And thank you, Amanda. I wanted to shout her out. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this week. Make sure you head over to the Level With Me YouTube channel and give us a subscribe. We're going to have more parts of that Luigi's Mansion 3 playthrough going up, as well as the Super Mario World playthrough. Of course, like we mentioned, we'll probably be starting something new relatively soon. We are counting down on that Luigi's Mansion 3 playthrough as well, so there might even be more from there. Then besides that, if you want to give me a follow, you could do that on Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter at GameBroCorey. I'd really appreciate that. One day I'll start streaming again. I've just been like more busy than I expected, honestly. What about you, Mike?
Yeah, if you guys want to follow me, you can, or if you guys are just trying to find me in general, you'll see me in the kitchen at the refrigerator drinking eggnog, because that's all I do during Christmas time. And if you do want to follow me on social media, you can find me on YouTube and on Instagram. And technically, I keep forgetting, I actually do have a thing on Facebook. I don't really post there, but the Collector's Vault is on Facebook. But you'll find me more so on Instagram and YouTube, posting little fun videos whenever I get a chance. Or even on Instagram, kind of just posting things about the most recent card market, the Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, maybe some things about retro video games. If you guys like that, yeah, please give me a follow or give me a subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. But definitely check out Corey and I, because when Corey gets back into streaming, you guys are going to be in for a real treat. I'll tell you right now.
Always appreciate the love. Thank you.
Yeah, anytime.
Speaking
of... Were you going to say something? What?
Yeah. I was going to say, speaking of the love, I got my special guest here, Santa Claus, and he's ready to tell all the good boys and girls out there something special. Here he comes. Ho, ho, ho. What's up, everyone? How are y'all doing? It's Santa.
Santa, is that you?
It sure is. I'm here at Game Bro Corey's apartment. I decided to stop here before I did my, my day is coming up, my big day.
Hey, Santa, why do you sound like Rodney Dangerfield?
Ho, 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 ho. Rodney was one of my good friends, one of my favorite comedians. I watched quite a bit of his stand-up. He's a big influence in my life. Let me tell you, you ever suck a peppermint stick? Just a joke. Just a joke. Just a joke.
Geez, Santa, this is a PG. This is a PG rated podcast.
Well, my motto is ho ho ho.
I see what we did there, Santa.
Nailed it. That's how you end a podcast, folks. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, folks.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
Metroid Prime 4 is still in development.